And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 1 of the state tournament here in the Senior Legion Tournament. In Pontotoc, Game 1 will feature the Booneville Braves versus the Hub City Bombers. Booneville will be the home team on the scoreboard and wearing red, while Hub City will be the visiting team wearing blue. And we'll spin things to Ryan Whittington as we start here in the top of the first.
There's a ground ball to the first baseman. Fields it cleanly. Nice grab over there at first base by the Booneville Braves, and that's actually Drew Dodds, number 10. Nice little grab right there as they record the first pitch on 1 out. Steve Whitten joined alongside by Adam Gore, also Brandon Speck, and yours truly, Ryan Whittington, here for today's ball games. Also going to be here for probably about the next 9 games as well. It's going to be a long weekend, but a weekend full of baseball. And Steve, certainly a pitcher on the mound that we are looking forward to seeing, Chris Gullick, as he delivers a first pitch strike.
Came with a little off speed there. Breaking ball. I tell you what, that mound's awful high. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see a lot of breaking balls today.
There's another one right down the middle. Umpire's going to call it a strike. So he's been aggressive coming after the plate. You got to think with the high temperatures here, guys, home plate umpires throughout the tournament is going to have a pretty generous strike zone.
Certainly does for Chris Gullick. Ashley Grader, the batter, swung on and fouled off here at the hollow. We'll certainly hear a lot from the foul balls that will be heading into the parking lots all weekend long, but Ashley Grader with an 0-2 count on him from Chris Gullick. He'll be followed by Zach Robertson, number 3 batter and second baseman for the Hub City Bombers. Covered both of these teams before in past Senior Legion tournaments. This the opening game. Nice curveball, beautiful pitch right there as Steve just kind of jelly-legged him at the plate.
Sure did. And like I was mentioning before, I mean, just back from the old days when you have a mound kind of poking up like this one, I don't know if we can get a shot with it just from our angle, but it sure lends to coming over the top with a change-up or a curveball or something. Kind of adds to your natural motion. That little drop.
Excuse me, Steve. Chris Gullick has now set down the first 2 batters he's faced. Zach Robertson, the batter, is a first pitch ground ball to Will Hawkins at third base for Booneville. Not able to corral that one. 2 out and 1 on now for Chris Gullick as he will get set to face Garrett Braley.
Yeah, that one took a funny hop on him that time as it hit the ground. Sort of jammed him at his feet. I think he might have overplayed it, expecting it to take a little softer hop that time. But it's been pretty dry the past few days. So the ground's going to be pretty hard, even though they've raked it and tried to wet it as much as they can. So that one sort of fell victim of just being in no man's land.
Yeah, no real harm done as there's already 2 outs in the inning. There's that breaking ball. First pitch from Chris Gullick as it stays low for ball 1 to Garrett Braley. He would be followed by Bobo Morgan, the shortstop and number 5 batter for the Hattiesburg Hub City Bombers. Excuse me. That one stays outside, 1-1 the count.
Well, he's working well early here, but now you're starting to see him sort of work towards the outside of the plate. And the umpire not giving him that much on the outside.
The 2-0 stays away. It looked like a little slide piece in the outside part of the play. Once again, like you said, Adam, just kind of working away from these batters, seeing what they're going to offer at 3-0 pitch. Fastball right down the heart of the plate, 3-1 the count.
Yeah, he left no doubt on that one. Just loaded up, threw it right down the middle. Big boy just didn't want to pull the trigger on it. You know, normally when you get that 3-0 count, you're going to be holding the whole way through.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets a green light here on 3-1. Fastball, actually, that looked like a curveball right there. Excuse me. Got the green light, came up empty. Full count now. The runner will be moving on the pitch.
Yeah, there's only one player I've seen in this Senior Legion tournament our years covering it, and Ryan, you'll agree with me this, that swings away on a 3-0 count, and that's a big guy by the name of Dustin Lunn.
I agree wholeheartedly. That one stays high and in tight to Braley. So after a 2-out error by Will Hawkins at third base with the Booneville Braves, Chris Gullick issues a full count walk to Garrett Braley, and now the batter will be Bobo Morgan, the runner at first and second base. Here in the top of the first inning, Hub City Bombers facing the Booneville Braves and Chris Gullick.
Well, apparently you see a lot of different traditions whenever kids come to plate. We've seen guys lick the bat, and this cat apparently spelling out his email address as he was writing a lot on the side over there to the left. But you know, it's one of those things you see a lot of times in baseball, Ryan, and of course you and Steve Whitten being big baseball gurus. You know, baseball is a game of superstition and tradition. You know, if it works for you one time, you know, sort of go through the same thing, eat the same meal, you know, each at bat, do the same thing, and it's probably one of the things that he's established throughout his career.
Well, there's a lot of guys that do it. Nomar Garcia-Parra, Mark Fidrich, the Bird, used to do quite a bit out behind the mound. Also Al Herboski, known as the Mad Hungarian in St. Louis. Swung on and missed. Nice pitch right there First pitch out of Chris Gullico won the count.
Just say the Mad Hungarian.
The Mad Hungarian, actually now the Fox Sports Net West announcer for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Tell you what, they're playing this guy sort of to the right out in the outfield. When he's swinging, he's going to put it down that line. Well, they got it right.
Beautiful play right there by Drew Dodds at first base. A nice piece of hitting out of Bobo Morgan. Was expecting the curveball. He got it, just wasn't able to do anything with it. As we head to the bottom of the first inning, your score 0-0. Booneville Braves come to the plate. Bottom of the first inning we go. Booneville Braves come to the plate against the Hub City Bombers. The Bombers were able to get 2 runners on base with 2 out in the top of the first against Chris Gullick. However, had nothing to show for it as Chris Gullick really used his defense to get out of the top of the first inning. Now you'll see Ben Wallace, Drew Dodds, and Will Hawkins come to the plate. 1, 2, 3 hitters for the Booneville Braves. Wallace, the second baseman, steps in against the pitcher of record, Destin Brumley, for the Hub City Bombers. First pitch swinging. There's a little tapper. Third baseman going to have to make a nice play. Can't corral that one, so Booneville Braves have a leadoff batter on the first pitch, and that's exactly how you want to get started, Steve.
It sure is. A little bouncer out there next to the mound.
Now batting number 10.
Just not far enough for the shortstop and not far enough for the third baseman to get over. But I tell you what, at least he didn't grab and throw it away.
Yeah, certainly a good play to just knock the ball down, keep it in your back pocket. Now the batter will be Drew Dodds with a runner at first base, and we'll see how the Booneville Braves would like to play this baseball game. If they like to go with the small ball, or if they, early on, you probably just want to go ahead and see what you can get going against this pitcher.
Well, think about it is they got Hawkins and I think it's Wheatley coming up after him. Probably the 2 strongest 3-4 hitters that you'll see in this tournament. So I wouldn't be surprised they don't try to just play a little small ball, advance him around here even early in this thing, and see if they can't let one of the big guys come up with a big hard hit double.
The 1-0 pitch stays high to Drew Dodds. 2-0, good hitters count right here as leadoff batter has reached against Destin Brumley and the Bombers. And now Drew Dodds, the number 2 batter, with the 2-0 count. Certainly got to like to see this. Snap throw back over to first base, and in there safely is Ben Wallace. We'll give you a rundown of both lineups during the inning break after this bottom of the first inning.
He had a little bit of trouble getting back to first that time, almost if he got sort of his feet tangled up on himself, but he was able to dive back in time.
Yeah, just a little. He kind of stumbled there. This one down the line will drift foul, though. Little Texas leaker stays foul, and that one could have been trouble as well. So now 2-1 the count on Drew Dodds. Dodds actually made a really nice, actually 2 nice plays over at first base in the top of the first inning. One to save 2 runs, as that one, if that had gotten past him, would have gone in for extra bases.
Well, Ryan, it always seems as many times we've covered a game out here in the Hollow, something right down one of the baselines has always been one of the big plays there. And this is trouble as he caught it in the air, and he's going to tag him for 2. So they had the hit and run on that time, but a nice play by the second baseman negated that. Almost didn't have time to react to it, period, with the camera as the runner slid into second safely. So they got the hit and run like they were looking for. Unfortunately, just put it right into the glove of the Hub City Bomber second baseman.
Yeah, it certainly was a great pitch count to do a hit and run on his 2-1 count. He got the meat of the ball, exactly what he was looking for, just didn't hit it hard enough. Second baseman made a nice play on that one, a double off the runner at second base. Now Will Hawkins will step in with 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. He would be followed by Sawyer Wheatley, as Adam said, cleanup batter and right fielder for the Booneville Braves. Brumley missed on his first one, 1-0. This one stays. Fastball stays away for 2-0. 2-0 the count to Will Hawkins. Not one of these guys you actually want to fall behind on, though.
Yeah, it's not a guy you want to leave anything hanging up to or have to be forced to throw something over the heart of the plate, because Pontoc has not been known to be a huge field, and he's already hit a home run off the scoreboard here in the season. He took a big chop there, so Hawkins pretty much just got to make solid contact on the ball. He's going to be tiptoeing his way around the bases.
Yeah, it seemed like he was looking for something completely different than a curveball right there, though. Came up empty. 2-1 the count. This certainly is a crackerjack box. 350 to dead center, swung on and missed on a little fastball. It seemed to have a little tailing action on it. 335 to the power alleys, and then 310 down the lines. And like I told you once before, Adam, this field seems like it keeps on shrinking each year.
Well, kids just get stronger. And, it's one of those things that, you see fields like this at East Webster, at other schools like that is there was a diving effort up the middle by the shortstop, come up empty. Good lick that time by Hawkins. But yeah, you know, the stronger kids get, the shorter all these fields get. And then, of course, when you got short decks to start with, you see a lot of balls fly out of here. I believe they said set the national record with 74 home runs in a season in 1984 here in Pontotoc. So, you know, they've seen their fair share of home runs. And, of course, we had the joy of watching that Game 2 of the championship series between Pontotoc and Tupelo here 2 years ago.
I don't want to talk about that, Adam.
Yeah, it turned into a home run derby itself.
I don't want to talk about that. There was a number of runs being scored. Seemed more like an all-star game than anything else.
Well, Wheatley that time.
Yeah, that was a little
They
chin burner.
tell him to back up off his plate.
Sawyer Wheatley, the batter, as he takes a first pitch ball. Runner over at first base, Will Hawkins, reached on a 2-out single right back up the middle. 1-0, swung on miss. Wheatley certainly had a nice swing right there. Couldn't come up with anything, though. 0-2.
Yeah, Wheatley's another player. You look at him, you look at Hawkins, you look at a guy like Ricky Ware on the Pontotoc team. There's just guys you don't want to see digging into the box whenever you're on the mound.
Absolutely, and certainly not Ricky Ware. Even on the mound or behind the plate. This one popped up, probably going to get out of play.
Heads over towards the protege, but it hit the field house behind us. One thing you have to say, Ron, they've done some consistently improvements, or progressively improving the field here at Pontotoc. They've improved the dugouts this season. So this has become one of the
Nice looking field.
better fields in North Mississippi. As you said, Steve, this is a real nice looking field.
Absolutely. That one stays high and in tight for ball 2. 2-2 the count. Yeah, seems like they extended the wall up, I guess 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Out in left field, right field, down the lines. That certainly helps the aesthetic appeal. This one stays in the dirt for ball 3, full count.
Well, it all started with that big LED scoreboard you see there in your background. And it's just progressively gotten better from there. Coach Phil Webb and all the boosters out here at Pontotoc doing an excellent job. Of course, Pontotoc baseball is a big deal out here in Pontotoc County.
Absolutely, a lot of tradition. With this program, that one fouled off. As you can tell just from walking in the stadium, like you said, the home run record banners greet you as you walk into the sitting area.
When we talk about Pontotoc baseball, you got to look at South Pontotoc, North Pontotoc as well. Baseball is pretty hot in this county all the way around. Of course, South Pontotoc, one of the teams you have to look out for in 3A next year. Of course, North Pontotoc's going to be right in the mix as well.
Absolutely. North Pontotoc plays my style of baseball, as we all know. Snap throw back over to first base, and Will Hawkins in there safely.
Second time we got to see Will this season, or on TV. Actually, it'd be my third time, but we went down to Millsaps. He didn't get to play, but he was on that Millsaps team along with Derek Bolin of Nettleton.
Stays high and tight for ball 4, so now the Bombers doing exactly what the Booneville Braves did in the top half of the first inning. Got 2 quick outs and now have allowed 2 base runners here in the bottom half of the first. That'll bring up Will Wallace, the catcher for the Booneville Braves, number 24. He will come to the plate with a runner in scoring position. Will Hawkins singled with 2 outs during the inning. And Adam, to tell you the truth, this one really could have been a lot worse, save for that great play by the second baseman of the Hub City Bombers. If that one gets through, you've got a couple runners on, and you scored a few runs right there.
Absolutely. You're looking at a 2-0, maybe at the best 1-0 ball game right now. So good defensive play, and you're going to probably see a whole bunch of those this tournament, as this is a tournament that's either been highlighted by big-time home runs or amazing defensive plays. Remember Luke Atkins' home run rob where he sat on the fence out in center 2 years ago.
Twice.
So,
how could you forget that?
So we've seen our fair share.
Where did he sit?
The fence was about high as the 335 across the way, but he jumped up about as high as that and sat on the fence to rob 2 home runs in one game.
Neat.
Was at Southern Miss, now over at Mississippi State, as Brandon Speck of the Monroe County Journal and I were talking a while ago. Throw down is not in time.
Ron, his breaking ball is not breaking.
Yeah, it seems like he's getting on the side of the ball a little bit too much, not really getting on top of it. And Chris Gullick cannot say that right now. His breaking ball has been absolutely unhittable. We'll see what Brumley comes with, though. He's going to get on top of that breaking ball. His fastball's been working pretty well, running in on right-handed batters, as you see right there, but still having some problems locating it, as Steve Whitten says. Stays high and tight for ball 3. 3-1 the count. Certainly not a count you want to see to a number 5 batter, especially in this Booneville Braves lineup after Sawyer Wheatley and Will Hawkins have reached in the inning. Brumley's 3-1. There's a ground ball. Going to get through the 4-hole. Will Hawkins, they're sending him around third base. There's going to be a play at the plate. Hawkins in there safely, slides underneath the tag.
Ouch. Kind of a rough slide at home, too. Lucky he jammed his knee on home plate and just flipped over. I don't know if you don't challenge over at third. See, he has some pretty big strides turning around the bases over to the side. I thought he might have missed it.
Seems like he might have touched the inside part of the bag, which is what you're taught to do, but then again, he could have missed it, and he got there pretty quickly. A nice slide right there, though.
Well, the big guy's got speed. You know, you look at him, you don't think he's got that kind of speed, but he can motor around the bases.
You know, I was talking earlier that mound's a little high. Well, not high. I would like that mound.
Yeah.
But some guys don't like it, and that could be contributing to him staying a little high. Maybe feeling like he needs to release the ball a little quicker.
Yeah. Well, everything y'all talked about a while ago, everything's up and inside towards the batter's face.
So he'll get adjusted here in a second.
The thing about it is you don't want to leave any of them up
No.
in this space, and he's working high already.
Yeah, it seems like that's what happens with these straight ball pitchers. Whenever they start getting on a mound that's too high, their release point gets thrown off, and that's really what's leading to these balls being up in the zone. Nice curveball right there to Chris Gullick, also serving as the designated hitter today for the Booneville Braves, trying to help out his own cause. He's got runners at second and third base, 2 down here in the bottom of the first. 1-0 your score. Booneville has plated 1 already in the inning.
Well, he's doing a much better job now, guys, sort of getting on top of the ball, as you talked about a while ago, Steve, as he's able to snap over and turn it down. Now he's working a little too low, but still a lot better from where he was. Sort of tell he's starting to get his feel for the mound.
Curveball. Stayed up on that one. Not where he wanted it. This one drifting back to the wall. That one's gone.
And it was gone big time as it hit halfway up the mound that time. Hey, talk about helping your own cause, Gullick. Getting it done there.
Yeah, Gullick got one of those curveballs. He said he'd been working low. He didn't work low enough that time. Chris Gullick got all that one. Your score now, 4-1. 4-0. Booneville Braves on top of the Hub City Bombers here in the bottom of the first inning. Guys, it's not over yet.
You got 9 innings of baseball to go here. But a good start now if you're the Booneville Braves, as that was a big shot and the ball's already made its way back home. That was a shot, guys. It hit halfway up that hill.
It went a lot farther than I thought.
Yeah, but I didn't think he actually hit it that hard, and it just seemed to travel, and the wind was dead at the moment.
Pitch count starting to rack up now for Destin Brumley. First pitch catches the inside part of the plate to Clint Hodges, the center fielder for the Booneville Braves. 0-1 the count.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches handle these ball games, especially when they get like this in the early stages. It's a double elimination tournament, so you could come back from the loser bracket and still have a chance to win it all. But one of the things that we've always seen this tournament come down to is depth of pitching and how long your arms can last. So it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches sort of play their cards here in the first round.
Absolutely. It's always tough, and especially in that first game, as Clint Hodges takes strike 3, on the outside part of the plate. Destin Brumley gives up 4 runs here in the bottom of the first inning, but he strikes out the final batter, Clint Hodges. We'll be back with the top of the second inning right after these messages. Welcome back to the action here in the top of the second inning as the Hub City Bombers come to the plate. Booneville Braves plated 4 in the bottom of the first inning, capped off by the man on the mound, home run, 3-run bomb to right field. This one's got the distance, though, and that one's gone.
Well, big answer there, guys. Second pitch, or was that the first pitch of the inning?
Second pitch of the inning.
Second pitch of the inning. He just sort of put the bat on the ball and put it out there. So, guys, balls will travel today, as that's been the second one that really didn't look like it was going to get out of here, but still found its legs and was able to get over the fence at 335 out there and right. And hey, Ryan, you talked about the game not over with yet. That's what it takes to get back in this thing.
Yeah, Charlie Hillman with a big hit right there on the second pitch of the inning out of Chris Gullick. Not really what he wanted to do. Now he'll face Jim Roseberry as he leaves a curveball high in the zone and away for ball 1. And Steve, that's one of the things we saw earlier. As a young man on the mound left a curveball up to Chris Gullick, and Gullick planted one up in right field.
I tell you what, both those home runs didn't look like they had the power, but I guess y'all were talking about that fence being fairly close, and I guess you're correct.
Yeah, it says 335, but I think that 335 is a deceiving
It could
335. Because that one was more of a line drive shot over the
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah, this field's certainly one of the shortest. As this one's popped up on the right side. Dodds may have a play on it. He does. First
Big
out
out.
of the inning recorded by the Booneville Braves.
Those type of breaks, type of outs, give your pitcher a little bit of confidence. Because a lot of times you see kids sort of lose focus on those balls that drift out in foul territory and don't make the play on them. But a good job of getting out there, getting the ball, and getting the out.
Tucker Morgan now the batter for the Hub City Bombers. He will be followed by Ben Loshi, the number 9 batter for the Bombers. First pitch over for strike 1 from Chris Gullick. We actually have a late home plate umpire calling, so you have to apologize. I'll have to apologize for a lot of these calls if I get them wrong first off.
That pitch fouled off. And guys, real quick, while we got a break here, I want to remind everybody this was originally scheduled to be a 7-team tournament. Ironically, the 2 Mississippi Prospect team, one from Richton and the other one from Greenwood, dropped out of the tournament today. So that kind of sent everybody into a frenzy right around lunch, as that time found enough of the corner of the plate to get rung up for the strikeout. And that's one thing we talked about, guys. You know, you got to be swinging the bats here on a hot day. But good job by everybody in charge of the tournament here, Ryan and Steve, to get everything in order, get all the changes made quick enough to allow Hattiesburg, who had drove quite the distance to get here, to still be able to play and not have to make any major adjustments to their travel schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. They come up every season, it seems like. They always make this tournament, and whenever they get here, something happens. We had that happen 2 years ago, as they had to find some quick filler teams. Hattiesburg, always the good sport about it.
Big breaking ball.
The flag's not blowing out there, but our banner is.
Let's say starting to see that wind whipping throughout here. It's a couple of clouds moving into the area.
Feels good.
It is a welcomed breeze, to say the least. I tell you what, the flag might not be moving in the outfield, but that's a big flag. It's going to take one heck of a wind to get it up.
It's starting to go now. Heat index, just so everybody, 107.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
It might get even more hot. That's the thing about summertime in Mississippi, guys. You know, it gets hot, it gets humid. It'll show 89 on the gauge, and it'll be 140 in the shade.
It's always a little bit hotter on the field as well. Curveball stays away on the 3-1 count, so Gullick issues Ben Loshi a 2-out walk, as we'll head back to the top of the order and Bryn Whitehead.
Well, we talked about the changes to the tournament. These 2 teams weren't affected by the changes. They were scheduled to be the 1 o'clock start instead. Got to start a little bit before, or right around the 4:30 mark of the tournament. The 2 teams that were affected would be Tupelo and Amory. That game would be coming up next, as they pretty much just basically advance to the next round of the tournament. Pontotoc, being the defending state champion and host, gets a bye into the second day of play. Not for sure what they did on that situation, who they'll play, if they'll play the winner of this one or the Tupelo. They'll play the winner of this one, Ryan says. So it's going to be an interesting, hopefully, 3 days of baseball.
.20 coming from Chris Gullick, stays in tight to Bryn Whitehead. And guys, it really seems like he's lost a little bit of luster, as he just issued a 2-out walk. He issued a 2-out walk to a batter in the last inning as well. So got to get on top of that fastball like he does right there, as Whitehead chases the pitch high and away on a 3-0 count. Excuse me, it's 2-2 now is what the scoreboard reads.
Yeah, that last pitch I think was just baiting the batter to chase that, so he tailed it just out of the strike zone, as he was wanting to do something big with that last pitch. Got him.
Fastball on the outside part of the plate. Gullick did that twice this inning, 2 strikeouts.
Good pitch.
Now we will head to the bottom of the second inning right after these messages. Welcome back to action here in the bottom of the second inning. Your score 4-1, Booneville Braves on top of the Hub City Bombers, as Chris Gullick has really shown us something, some great stuff. A few strikeouts for him, a couple of them backwards. as Chris Gullick, working well, also helped out his own cause in the bottom of the first inning with a 3-run bomb to right field. Now we head to the bottom of the second, as that'll bring up the number 9 batter for the Braves, Neil Tice, the shortstop. He will be followed by the left fielder, Drew Christo. Rounding out the bottom of the order for the Booneville Braves as they sent 7 batters to the plate in the bottom of the first inning. Destin Brumley on the mound. First pitch, comebacker right to Destin Brumley. Throw over to first base. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the second.
Still like to see that out of Tice that time. He hustled down the baseline trying to get there just in case, one of those fluke errors come up. But here goes a young man by the name of Drew Christo out of Booneville. He'll be one of the kids is a multi-star talented athlete out there. Not one of the biggest guys you'll see on the field, but he's always one of the guys that always comes up with the biggest plays when you need him the most.
First pitch swinging, fouls this one back from Brumley. Gets back on another one of the facilities here at the Hollow that has certainly created such a tradition for the Pontotoc Warrior baseball program. Swung on and missed. Brumley ahead of Christo, now 0-2.
Well, just good job of getting ahead quickly here. I might have jinxed Christo on that situation. Giving some props early in the contest here. That's the way it works. Commentator's jinx is what we call it.
Yeah, you did jinx him.
So
I'll have to send my letter of apology.
Yeah, curveball got Christo right there, and certainly one of those pitches that that'll send you back to the dugout packing after not taking it off your shoulder.
Yeah, one thing though, you've got to be swinging the bat because he has called that strike 3 and pitches pretty consistent. That time, almost had to call 911 as that was a fastball. It looked like he tried to get it to slide on him that time, but almost bounced off the back of the head of the batter.
Excuse me for my reaction.
No, you were right. I'm just glad you didn't say another word.
I thought that was lodged in his ear. Oh, man.
Steve, of course, having his playing days of baseball, probably seen quite a few of those.
Dude, quite a few.
I would say probably threw more than you saw.
2-0 stays low in the dirt to Ben Wallace, the leadoff batter for the Booneville Braves. He singled on the first pitch he saw back in the first inning. Now he's got a 3-0 count working in his favor.
Well, guys, the winner of this tournament will advance on to Oklahoma this year for the World Series. Last year, I believe it was in Kentucky is where they played it. Pontotoc went down there, had a pretty nice little run, came up short. Looking to try to make it back-to-back appearances in the Senior Legion World Series.
3-1 stays low and away to Ben Wallace. 2-out walk issued to him, and now the batter will be Drew Dodds, and that really seems to be the story of the game for both of these pitchers. Get 2 outs and then walk the next batter.
Well, you really want to pick up out here, not to put 2 guys on with Hawkins and Wheatley coming up in the lineup.
Drew Dodds, the batter, the first baseman for the Booneville Braves. He lined into a double play his last time up. Curveball stays just away and high for ball 1.
Like he's going to try to slap a little bunt down, a little softball style that time. Third baseman was playing back on his heels, scooting up on the grass now.
Snap throw back over to first base. A little bit closer than it should have been. And like you said, Adam, it seems like these runners over at first base aren't really getting a good grip on the infield dirt. Ben Wallace had to scamper back pretty quick.
That's the second time Wallace has struggled to get back. He almost got picked off in the first. Lay down the bunt, and it's going to roll foul. Dodds has got pretty good speed, but really surprised to see that with 2 outs.
Yeah, he saw the third baseman for Hattiesburg playing back and probably playing a little bit too far on his heels. Thought he might drop one down, beat it out to first base. Not a bad idea.
No, you got Hawkins coming up, so you'll have 2 base runners on if that had worked out.
You've already been given the 3-run lead. And your pitcher, Chris Gullick, has been doing pretty well for you, so why not try it out? A 1-1 count coming to Drew Dodds. Swung on and missed. Took a big cut right there, though.
He fouled that one off, just caught a piece of it. As you said, Dodds trying to show, hey, talking about Hawkins and Wheatley here, I got a little power too. Good turnout, guys, for the early game. See all the tents. I'm sure Steve-O has panned around throughout the contest. Runner's going to go. He's going to throw him down. Nice throw down that time. I think he might have had another hit and run on in that situation, but picked him off. Not what you like to see, Ryan, getting the third out of the inning on the base pass there. So either way it goes, through 2 innings complete, 4-1. Booneville leads, and that is mighty loud. So we'll take you to a break and be back with more right after this.
Welcome back to action here in the top of the 3rd inning. Chris Gullick on the mound for the Booneville Braves as he will get set to face the 2-3-4 batters for the Hub City Bombers. Ashley Grader, Zach Robertson, and Garrett Braley. Braley, the catcher who threw out Ben Wallace to end the bottom of the 2nd inning on a nice throw. It was on a 2-2 count. Ball stayed high up in the zone, and Braley threw it down to second base and really had him by a mile. First pitch from Chris Gullick stays high for ball 1 to Ashley Grader.
Well, as we mentioned, the next game following this one will be Tupelo 49ers versus the Amory Cardinals. That's going to be a good game right there, guys. It's going to be a little rematch where Amory went to Tupelo and upset the 49ers in a sense, but we talked about it. Amory red hot coming into this tournament, and that's really, in baseball, in the dangerous sense, the best team's the hottest team.
Absolutely. You got to say that, especially when it comes to the playoff situation.
Yeah,
everything is on the plate.
Amory went out, knocked off Pontotoc, followed that up with a win over Booneville, and then a win over Tupelo. Beautiful play that time by the shortstop.
Yeah, nice play right there out of Neil Tice, the shortstop for the Booneville Braves, has had to come up, make a throw across his body on the run. That's one of those plays you really like to see, especially out of a shortstop getting ready to move on to the next level.
That's a little web gem, if you will, of the tournament. Well, one good thing, guys, is as long as the rain holds off, we got some clouds moving in here to cool things off. Breeze is whipping around all over the place. This one's lifted to center.
Curveball hit right at the center fielder for the Booneville Braves as Chris Gullick induces him to fly out to Clint Hodges. So now 2 pretty quick outs, especially after Gullick fell behind the leadoff batter Ashley Grader 3-0. Now he gets Zach Robertson on a first pitch curveball. Garrett Braley, the catcher for the Hub City Bombers, 3rd batter of the inning. Your score 4-1, Booneville Braves on top of the Hub City Bombers here in the top of the 3rd inning. Fastball ripped foul down the line.
Starting to see these Hub City Bombers guys get more aggressive on the first few pitches at the plate. They were taken in the early innings here, but they saw he likes to fill up the strike zone and get after you early in the contest. So you're starting to see the bats get a little bit more active here for the Bombers.
Certainly so, and it seems like I'm not really guessing correctly on that curveball. Chris Gullick has done a good job mixing that in with a tailing fastball. That one stays high and away for 1-1. Fastball inside, and almost got a piece of Braley right there.
Ryan was talking about Dustin Lund earlier. He just walked into the ball field. An ICC Indian that is hard to miss when he steps on the baseball field.
Certainly is, especially when he swings the bat. Or throws a baseball for that matter.
Yeah.
3-1 pitch coming from Chris Gullick.
Nasty.
Curveball, beautiful.
Ooh, even the batter thought he was set down that time.
So you got a full count now.
The batter may want to slip
Came right back with it.
$1 to the umpire that time.
Beautiful pitch right there out of Chris Gullick.
That breaking ball is just nasty, folks.
As that is strikeout number 4. Chris Gullick just working that curveball very effectively. He's got a couple backwards Ks, also that one. And Garrett Braley not able to come up with that one. As he was the number 4 batter, we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Your score 4-1 as the Hub City Bombers did get a leadoff home run out of Charlie Hillman to lead off the top of the 2nd inning, but since that time, they really haven't been able to get anything going against Chris Gullick. And guys, his stuff has really been nasty on that mound.
Absolutely. You know, whenever you get a pitcher that's got his breaking ball going, you know, especially the way he did. You know, we saw it with Blake Goodson out at Catlin City. Come in after a tough a tough outing with Calumet City running out a few pitchers there. He came in as the third pitcher, not really sung as a big-time pitcher in that sense, but came out there, had his breaking ball working against Ingomar, picked up a big win in Game 2 for Calumet City to keep that series alive. And, you know, breaking ball's hard to hit, period, but whenever it's breaking that nastily as it is on the mound today for Gulick, you know, it's just nothing you can do about it.
And number 15 here just has not been able to make that transition yet. He's still, I mean, we're sitting here watching him warm up, and look at it. It's just still coming that high inside if you're a right-handed batter. I thought he'd get it down here by, well, it's the bottom of the third, so if he leaves it up that high, we're going to see some more of those home runs.
Yep.
Real quick here.
We'll lead off with Dodds, who was at the plate whenever, I believe it was Wallace thrown out, trying to steal second. So he won't necessarily start off with the two big bats, but he's got them sitting there licking their chops waiting on him.
Yeah, you've got a number 2 batter in Drew Dodds who can certainly set the table for you, get on base, more like a leadoff batter for you, as attempted to drop down a bunt in that last inning.
Wouldn't be surprised if he didn't try it again here.
I mean, if that third baseman sits back there as far as he was last time, I don't see him. Why not?
Only problem with him trying to get down a bunt is everything this pitcher's throwing is high, so if he does try to get it down, he's going to pop one up.
Well, they brought him in on the grass right now.
So he's a step away from the grass.
First pitch swung on, fouled off to the left side here at the hollow. Drew Dodds will be followed by, like Adam said, Will Hawkins and Sawyer Wheatley, who've accounted for 2 of the runs scored by the Booneville Braves. One of them scoring on the home run. This one hit to dead center field. Excuse me, dead center field, all the way back to left center field, as shortstop camped under it for the out. Just took one step back.
Well, the whole infield jumped. Like, I thought it was a good.
Yeah, I would say.
And the ones earlier I didn't think would hit hard, went out of the park, and that one I said, oh, that's going somewhere. Bloops over to the shortstop.
Yeah, I think the way the shortstop reacted to the ball, like it was going to have to run it down and make a diving effort at it, and I think he sort of surprised himself the way it held up there. So we might have some wind picking up in the upper part of the field, if you will, sort of throw the balls around a little bit.
Situation where you're always inclined to watch fielders, especially in football, and see where the linebackers are going, see if you can anticipate the play from a broadcaster's perspective, but this one absolutely killed. It's going to stay up, though.
Nope.
Good grief.
That one sort of camped up in the air forever.
I'm not really
call
sure.
It foul.
I'm not really sure where
did it go?
They called it foul. So Hawkins is going to have to come back.
I was like the left fielder. I thought it was the banner got in my way, but how did it drift all the way over that?
Well, I don't know. You look at the tree line over there, guys, and the trees are pretty still.
Yeah, something's going on.
The left fielder, he was dancing around, couldn't find it. That's one of those around whenever he touched it. You sort of had that feeling it was gone. And then all of a sudden you thought, well, maybe he got under it a little too much, and then home plate umpire actually running all the way down past the third baseline.
Oh, he absolutely killed the ball. I wasn't even sure where it goes. Like I said, you're supposed to watch the fielders, and in this game, I'm not going to watch the fielders anymore.
Yeah. I think they have just about an equal chance of figuring out where the ball goes as we do.
Dustin Brumley working on Will Hawkins. 2-1 the count, 1 down here in the bottom of the third inning. Be followed by Sawyer Wheatley. 2-1, swung on and missed. Hawkins. Actually, I think that was a 2-2 pitch, but okay.
Yeah, so they skipping around on the scoreboard up there.
Will Hawkins.
Well, number 15's come out here and
done a good job here at the bottom of the third.
Bob, yeah.
You can get by the Wheatley here and get this third out. It'll be a big inning for him.
First pitch to Sawyer Wheatley stays low in the dirt for ball 1. Wheatley, if he reaches, will be followed by Will Wallace, who singled to bring up Chris Gulick back in the first inning. One-0 coming. Curveball ripped down the line, but foul.
Just a little bit ahead of that one that time as he sort of just served that one over home that time, guys. And just go back and ask Wheatley. He'd probably love to have that pitch come back at him again.
Yeah, it really seems like this is a great day for a breaking ball pitcher. You love it when it's just a little bit more humid outside. Love the effect that it has on the ball. Right there, nice fastball. Wheatley unable to catch up with it and really did some deceiving right there on the 1-1.
Well, I think right now, guys, it's going to sound funny the way I describe this. You two baseball guys might just disagree with me.
You just caught him.
I think he was so inconsistently early that it's sort of just thrown these guys for a loop here that they really don't know what the heck he's going to throw.
Well, he came bounding off the field smiling, and the catcher was smiling, so maybe they done hit the groove.
There you go. Well, through 3 innings complete, 4-1 is still your score. We're going to take it to a break and be back with more right after this.
Hub City Bombers due up in the top of the 4th inning as you have Bobo Morgan, Charlie Hillman, and Jim Roseberry. Hillman, homer to lead off the top of the 2nd inning. Here in the top of the 4th, we've got a little bit of wind picking up, also have some gray skies moving in. Could have a little bit of rain here, but stick with us as I'm sure we'll still be here. Your score 4-1, Booneville Braves on top of the Hub City Bombers, but Booneville Braves have been unable to hit. Unable to pick up a hit since the bottom of the 1st inning.
And real quick, while we got this timeout, this may bounce off our tent. But speaking of the tent, we do want to thank Mr. McGregor for setting this tent up for us with the clouds moving in. Also got those,
thank you.
Yeah.
Big thank you.
Actually, I believe he has set up every tent pretty much that you see out here. Like I introduced you earlier in the yesterday to him, Steve. That's a guy. If you need anything from Pontotoc, you almost can call him Mr. Pontotoc. He's a great guy. And that was a cold breeze that just blew through. So we're going to most definitely get some rains.
Nailed me.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can help you out with that. I don't think I got anything.
Well, just like you said, the wind shifted on us and brought that cool breeze in, so we're going to get something. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Why don't I just get out of the way?
Just step up a step. There you go. Now maybe it won't abuse you as much.
One down in the inning, Charlie Hillman up to the plate as that one hits behind his
just a little upside.
Chris Gullick unable to get on top of that one. Gets away from him a little bit.
Ooh,
And
got him.
that time he pretty much puts the pitch in the same place. Seen a lot of breaking balls already in this contest, guys. So you know breaking ball pitchers, you're usually going to see 1 or 2 guys get plunked in a contest, or you hope none, but you know, you only see 1 or 2 get hit. That's going to be the first of the night there for Gullick.
I got as a side note, I got a feeling we're going to be weather warriors here in a second. So
Absolutely. How
if
fitting.
you understand what I'm saying.
How fitting at the hollow home of the Warriors.
That's right. See, you get.
Oh. And the guy running by first he took an extra big stride. And Ryan, we've seen it many a times, and I know you've probably seen it more than me watching baseball. If you ever step on that bag funny the way he did, 9 times out of 10 you're going to come up with a pretty nasty injury, if not a break. And he was lucky he didn't hurt himself there, as that time the second baseman just came up empty.
That's right. It seems like he overstrode the bag, and whenever that happens, you have a few problems with your ankle. You can twist your ankle, do whatever you need to do, but tell you the truth, guys, that play should have been made right there. You'll have 2 outs in the inning, runner at second base, and you would have the number 8 batter coming to the plate, and Tucker Morgan really close to getting out of this one, and especially with rains approaching, you would love to make that play. Now runners at first and second base for Tucker Morgan. Struck out on a fastball on the outside part of the plate back in the 2nd inning. Ben Loshi stands on deck. One stays low in the dirt for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Tucker Morgan.
Actually, he called that one a strike.
Excuse me. Never mind.
It looked like it hit in the dirt before it got to the plate, but apparently it bounced off the mitt of the catcher in the dirt. We're not at our normal angle. Normally we're at a little bit to the side, so you can see a little bit better, but we're directly behind the home plate.
Yeah, that's a difficult angle.
I'm gonna say it's kind of blocking us.
Curveball stays high. Seems like Gullick has been having some problems getting on top of that curveball, just like his counterpart was earlier in the ball game.
One thing that we have not mentioned, guys, Stephen Chris now on camera. The Magic Man himself, Steve O'Mac.
And going along with what Ryan said, they've thrown a lot of curveballs today. I mean, it's just no one's sticking with the heat. They're trying to mix it up, or maybe that's these guys' resume throwing the curveball and they're setting up their fastball. I'm not sure, but we sure seen a lot of them.
Well, usually it's a testament, I guess, to the talent in this tournament. Usually you can get through the order 1 or 2 times on just your fastball, maybe working in some change-ups, a little bit of breaking speed here and there, and then as you get into the ball game, you go more to your breaking ball because it's more deceptive. Maybe these guys, this is their bread and butter. I certainly know that this is Chris Gullick's bread and butter pitch, but you certainly like it when a guy comes to the plate with 3 different pitches. He can work the plate inside and out, and right now he's having some problems locating with that curveball.
That time he kind of leaned into the pitch trying to find the hit, sort of popped the knee out there for it. I don't know if I'd put my knee out there to take one for the team.
Well, these guys are young.
That is true.
Yeah.
Look at the kids, 16, 17 years old, and that one off the head of the catcher and shoulder of the home plate umpire. The Winds can't make up their mind what they want to do, guys.
Now it's dead still. So
It's dead still, and you look at it across the way, across the hollow, if you will. You see the wind sort of shifting over towards where the school is, and it's coming this way, so it's blowing in the park, out of the park. It's just whipping around all over the place. So if they ever get some consistent winds up here, something in the outfield that drifts for a little while like we saw Hawkins a while ago could cause some major problems.
The calm before the storm, and we'll see what the Hub City Bombers have brewing. 2 runners on base, and there's a full count walk issued by Chris Gullick. So base is loaded now for the number 9 batter, Ben Loesch.
Coach Sanders going to come out and talk to his pitcher here, but guys, this is a big turning point in the ball game. Granted, we still play 9 innings, a lot of baseball to play here, but you jumped out to a quick 4-0 lead. You know, one swing of the bat, and they can retake this lead and sort of get some momentum going here. So you really want to come in here with 1 out and see if you just get something easy. Love to roll up 2, but you want to make sure you get that out and just, you know, get in a position to put yourself where you can get with minimum damage done.
Well, that's why that error at second base might prove to be so costly. If you don't have that, you have runners at first and second base with 2 down. You would have a runner at second base with 2 down in the inning before that happened. So situations like that, you just have to be wary of and make sure you get at least 1 out. Now you're in a lot of pressure right now to either roll 2 or get a strikeout right here and work at the number 1 batter, leadoff batter.
Absolutely. I'm not going to say anything because it'll probably happen, but I'll tell you what, if you hit 1 out right now with the way the wind's blowing, it's going to take a big boy shot or at least something to the left.
he's got that big flag just flapping out there.
First pitch strike by Chris Gullick. Uses that fastball very well, working the inside part of the plate. Ben Loesch, the batter, number 9 batter for the Hub City Bombers. He'll be followed by the leadoff man, Bryn Whitehead, who's 0 for 2 on the afternoon. That one's a slap foul.
He went with it, though.
So that was going to be one that if it would have stayed down the line, it would have been big time trouble because the outfield was sort of shifted a little to the left, and now they're making their adjustments back towards the line here. The first baseman had no play on it whatsoever.
Missed a spot right there. Could only get 1 as Wallace with the good play gets a sure 1. Now runners at second and third base. If you notice, guys, Wallace behind the plate, set up on the outside part. Chris Gullick let that one get back on the inside. It allowed the runner to slap that one to the right side of the infield, score the run from third base, and now this lead is cut in half, 4-2.
Well, a good job, as you mentioned, Ryan, getting the for sure out, giving up the run for the out there. So they're chipping away now. There's a big breaking ball that just didn't quite break back inside, so now you got your lead cut in half.
They are sure hanging up there when it's not on. It's just hanging there.
Well, you might see in the case whenever he's starting to run out of his street or run on empty, you might see some balls take flight.
Got it.
And another nice play in foul territory.
I think the wind helped him out on that one. Kind of blew it back right towards him.
Drew Dodds with the play, final out of the inning, and that really helps out his pitcher, Chris Gullick. Seemed like he'd been missing his spots all throughout that inning. Got some good defense by his second baseman, Wallace, for the second out, and then Drew Dodds finally coming to the rescue as he had. Seems like the rest of this ball game as we head now to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score 4-2, Booneville on top of the Hub City Bombers. And guys, looking into the next inning, you've got the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up. Will Wallace, Chris Gullick, and Clint Hodges. Certainly a big part of the order that has already hurt the Hub City Bombers in this ball game, and certainly one of these situations where you see the rains coming, you want to put somebody on base, see if you can push them across the plate. You've already given up 1 run.
Absolutely, you'd love to see you get that run back, and as you mentioned, Ron, this is the part of the lineup that can do it for him here. But at the same time, you got to look, Booneville's got to be sort of glad they got out of that, because you had bases loaded and you could have been in some major trouble there, but they were able to get out of it with minimum damage done, cut the lead in half, 4-2. So right now, Steve, you just want to get out here, put some more runs up, and see if you can't do some damage before the possible rains move in.
Yeah, they had the tie and run on second base, and they can chip away, and that's the way I guess the Bombers are going to get back into this ball game. But I'm kind of impressed, as we were kind of worried about number 15 and the other pitcher. And here we come into the bottom of the fourth, and they're both pretty cool and pretty strong. Have a little trouble with their curveballs, but nevertheless, they're going to get. It looks like both of them are going to get their innings in this game for sure.
Yeah, Chris Gullick with 64 pitches through 4 complete, and Destin Brumley, the pitcher for the Hub City Bombers, he's got 52 through 3. So these next few innings are certainly going to tell a lot for both of these staffs, as this one fouled off here at the hollow. And certainly with the number of pitches being thrown, like we said, so many curveballs already, it's still only a 4-2 ball game. It's anybody's ball game at this point.
I mean, I don't know about you, Ryan, but I would think these coaches coming into the tournament would want at least 5 innings out of their starting pitcher.
If not 6 or 7.
Yeah. But they have to get 5 out of them, I would think. That would be my thinking.
That's a different look that time as he dropped down a little sidearm action.
Yeah, certainly with a tournament format like this, you've had 2 teams drop out, which certainly helps your staff, as that curveball stays high for ball 1, I believe. But still, you certainly need as many innings as you can, especially in college baseball. You look for 6 innings, you hope for 6. If you can get 5, that's fine. If you can get 7, that's a quality performance. As this one rips through the 4-hole, as Will Wallace, with his second hit of the afternoon, had a single the exact same place back in the first inning. Now, as a base hit to lead off the bottom of the 4th, that'll bring up Chris Gullick.
That was a good at bat that time by Wallace. He fell behind 0-2, took a ball, battled one off, fouled one off, and he was able to come back and just get that hard shot up the 4-hole, as you mentioned. So a quality at bat that time for the Braves.
Number 18 came in to pinch run. Didn't get a shot at his back of his jersey.
We don't have a number 18 on the roster. We'll certainly try to get that for you pretty soon, though.
Here comes trouble. Throwback. Wow. He kind of Supermaned his way back to the base that time. You see kids slide back into it. He belly flopped back to the bag.
A little inside off that shin guard.
Good job keeping it in front of him that time and keep the runner at first base.
So we have 1 ball, no strikes, no outs. Bottom of the 4th.
And the lights are on at the ballpark.
Chris Gullick, the man at the plate. 3-run home run in the bottom of the 1st inning. Curveball.
Oh, man.
That's the exact same pitch he hit over the right field wall.
He knows it, too.
One of those, he's like, can I have that one again?
He'll be followed by Clint Hodges. Struck out looking on 3 pitches back in the 1st. Looking to atone for that at-bat. The 1-1 coming from Brumley back over to first base. And
I tell you what, that's pretty close.
That was a lot closer than the infield umpire lackadaisically called.
Kind of levitated in the air there.
Say he's not getting low when he dives back at the base. He's sort of just floating back to it, as you said, levitated his way to the bag.
There's a ball back up the middle. This could be 2. Shortstop takes it himself over to first in time for the double play. Chris Gullick bounces into the 6-3 unassisted double play here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 down now as Clint Hodges steps to the plate.
I believe we heard our first clap of thunder, but Ryan, you got it as a pitcher, and Steve, you can talk about this more being a former collegiate pitcher, but that's really got to help you be able to have some confidence to throw the ball in the strike zone whenever you got the defense playing well behind you.
Well, certainly. I mean, that's especially in this tournament fashion, when you know your defense is sitting back there helping you out. It means everything in the world, because we saw it earlier in this game where kind of a booted ball at third kind of got away from him and ended up with 2 runners on base. I mean, that's 12 more pitches or whatever it ended up being that you have to throw. So, heck yeah.
And certainly pitch count will factor into that staff decision getting on into the later stages of this ball game.
Right.
2-0 pitch coming.
Got
that one right down the heart of the plate.
I believe that was the second double play turned by the Bombers in the contest. There's a shot to the third baseman. Pretty easy inning that time for the Bombers.
Yeah, the Braves go 1-2-3 after getting a leadoff single by Will Wallace through the 4-hole here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score 4-2 as we head to the top of the 5th right after these messages. Ashley Grader, the leadoff batter for the Hub City Bombers. Here in the top of the 5th inning, 2-3-4 batters due up for the Bombers to face Chris Gullick. 64 pitches through 4 complete. His counterpart, Destin Brumley, has 63 pitches through 4 complete, and there's that curveball we've seen so much of over for a first pitch strike.
Yeah, he still got it working and got it working well. He struggled a little bit that last inning, but a good pitch there to open up, and now you're starting to see him mix it up a little bit more, going a little bit more with the fastball versus a curveball in these situations.
Yeah, you got to love to see. You're in the top of the 5th inning. You've worked 4 complete. Now you're starting to mix pitches in the zone. You got to like to see that out of your pitcher who's only throwing about 64 pitches, not off the average. Still holding the lead, and especially after your pitcher has hit a 3-run bomb to put you up.
That one that time finding the corner of the plate for a strike. Evens the count at 2-2.
Grader would be followed by Zach Robertson, 0 for 2 in the afternoon. And then Garrett Braley, 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout.
Oh, bumbled it. He got him, though. No, he didn't. He's
Got
taking
away.
it to second.
Could get him at second if the catcher hurries. Called him safe.
Holy cow.
I don't know why the young man threw his helmet down. Kind of threw it down and gave a glare at the shortstop that time.
Either that or he was expecting to be called out, and unfortunately he threw his helmet. Just the same, another error by the second baseman from Booneville. Wallace has had a tough day at second base, as has Will Hawkins at third. So a leadoff runner on base in scoring position for the Hub City Bombers here in the top of the 5th. Your batter is now Zach Robertson. He reached on one of the errors back in the 1st.
Well, that was a big error, guys. You know, you look at that run coming home. We got to run one-run ball game. You sort of go back and hang your hat on that one at the end of the day.
I tell you what, though, even though it was, let's see what this had.
Swung on to center field. Center fielder drifting over into right, corrals that one easily. So now 1 down, runner at second base, and now the batter will be Garrett Braley.
And that could have been much worse because unless number 24 here for the, is it Wallace. Man, he got down the first base line pretty good and saved that thing. I mean, that could have been at the fence or down that.
Yeah, credit
right
to the
side.
catcher.
Credit the catcher for getting down there.
That's one of those extra efforts that a lot of times you don't see kids do in that situation. They might, hustle halfway down the line, but hey, it's tournament time. He's come to play. He got down to first and almost got him thrown out at second.
Yeah, a little bit better throw. You might have had a great shot at it. Swung on and missed out of Garrett Braley. Count now 1-1.
Well, Braley can't hold off on anything low. He is chasing, and he is chasing big time. Now, if something just happens to hang up on him, he's going to do some damage, but anything at the knees, he's chopping.
Stays low. Exactly where he wanted to throw, and that's exactly what Chris Gullick just asked. What was wrong with that one? It seemed like the one before that was just a little bit lower. 2-1 the count now to Garrett Braley. Chris Gullick going to work. Nice curveball right there. Kind of working away from the batter Braley. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, he held the trigger on that one and then decided to go with it at the last second.
Yeah, he don't like the curveball.
No.
Well, now you would expect 2-2 count. Gullick has been working away to Braley. See what he likes to come with here. Catcher sets up outside. Fastball away. Nice pitch right there, Braley. Not going for it now, full count delivery.
Well,
he was thinking about it.
He had to do everything in his power to hold back on that one, guys.
Braley has put together a few good at-bats. All 3 at-bats have gone full count. This one, curveball stays just a little high. So Braley has put together some very good at-bats. Drawn a couple walks, struck out as Chris Gullick got him back in the 3rd, but here Braley wins the battle. So now 1 down, runners at first and second base, as the batter will be Bobo Morgan.
was kind of expecting him to crank the chainsaw on that one, guys.
Well, it was just a tad high, but it also looked like that, once again, one of those breaking balls that did not come over for him.
And now we do got some thunder clapping in the background.
First pitch fastball over for strike one to Bobo Morgan.
Guys, we got a ball game going here. Tying run at first. Go ahead, run at the plate now so long ball can really do some damage here. Only one out in the inning.
It's the exact same pitch, just moved a little bit to the outside part of the plate to the right-handed batter Morgan. 0-2 the count.
He's trying to stay away from him.
Ooh. This one comes back inside, gets away from the catcher. The runners will advance 90 feet. So now you have 2 runners in scoring position. That brings the tying run into scoring position. Go-ahead run at the plate, represented by Bobo Morgan here in the top of the 5th. And my, how this game has turned around these past few innings.
Well, Ron, you saw it there again. You touched on it in the previous innings. The catcher set way up outside that time, but the pitch coming back into the batter, he just couldn't come back to it that time. But a big strikeout there to get the second out of the inning.
That's certainly a strikeout he really needed, and in the worst way after those runners moved up on the wild pitch. Yeah, it seemed like Wallace and his pitcher Chris Gullick really not on the same page right now.
Which is very unusual at this point of the season.
That'll bring up Charlie Hillman. Homered on the the second pitch he saw back in the second inning. And also hit by a pitch later scored in the 4th. He's accounted for both of the runs the Bombers have scored in the game.
He is almost tagged by that one.
Yeah, I'm looking over. I'm watching the left here.
Yeah,
this thing's building up, but
as long as it stays on that side of town and shifts that way, we'll be okay.
Yeah. Actually, the other one kind of faded that way.
Kind of faded out.
And then this one kind of started up. So
more towards the Springville area where they might be getting some rain out that way.
Chris Gullick going to work on Charlie Hillman, the 1-1. There's a ground ball to Hawkins, gathers it cleanly to throw over to first base in time for the final out of the inning. Chris Gullick working himself out of a jam here in the top of the 5th. Your score 4-2, and guys, what a way by Chris Gullick to work out of that jam.
Yeah, that was huge that time, and saw Hawkins struggle with the ball earlier that time. He made sure he had a clean field on it, came up with it, took his time, got the put out. Huge Houdini act, if you will, to get that inning with no damage done, especially with the tying run at second.
Yeah, Gullick now through 5 complete, 84 pitches. Not really where you want to be, but if you can work 6 or 7 innings, I'd say he probably has maybe another inning in the tank. Hopefully the rain will hold off and allow Chris Gullick to come back on the mound, because if not, you're going to have to use another pitcher and already draw on part of your staff that is going to get hurt, especially in this first part of the tournament. Mm-hmm. You got to turn around, and if you win this game, you have to play the Pontotoc Red Sox and the next game the next day with a depleted staff.
Absolutely. So you would almost want to think that you'd see these two teams sort of have a abbreviated warm-up period in between innings, maybe 2-3 pitches, throw it down and get it back at the plate with the weather brewing like it is. So you want to try to get this game in for sure, because you sure don't want to hit a delay, a couple of hours, get stiff, have to come back out and play it again, if not go into tomorrow.
Plus you got another game that is supposedly supposed to start playing.
Yeah.
Begin play immediately after this one. We've seen this happen way too many times, though, here in Pontotoc.
Yeah, last year, or a couple of years ago, Pontotoc and Shannon, the hailstorm.
I think it was more of a couple tornadoes meeting right at the Hollow, exactly when we were here, because we were caught up in both of them.
Yeah, it was kind of a nasty night for baseball.
No, it was a fun night.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all
didn't have to run out to your car in the hailstorm.
That's why we get paid the big bucks to just call the games, and Adam Gore is the sports director for us.
True. You got a 4-2 score. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Steve, this is your Steve Whitten 5th here. And Ron, I don't know if you've been introduced to the Steve Whitten 5th, but Steve, go ahead and tell everyone at home just what the Steve Whitten 5th is all about.
Steve Whitten 5th is a theory of mine that the 5th inning is usually the motivating, deciding inning in a ball game. And that's not always precisely true.
Yeah. I saw a flash of lightning that time, guys. We might have a delay here.
And it's just one of those things, and it really applies more to high school when they're playing 7 than it does at 9. But for that foul ball. but for example, the Bombers had the tying run at second base.
That is it. They are going to have a delay.
Yeah. That was awful close.
Yeah. So we are going to have a weather delay here at the ballpark. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Your score is 4-2. We're going to take the break with them, and when we'll come back, we'll recap where we are. The beauty of television, folks, y'all are going to have to wait this thing out. So we'll take you to a break and be back with more right after this.
Welcome back to action after lengthy rain delay, probably about 30 to 45 minutes. We're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Booneville Braves coming to the plate. Neil Tice has a 2-1 count on him as he is getting set to face the original pitcher, Destin Brumley, who comes back out on the mound after the short rain delay. Actually a good thing for the Hub City Bombers. This is actually a really good game so far. 4-2 your score, Booneville over Hub City, but Brumley has been pitching very effectively over these past few innings. And guys, it's a good thing that Hub City didn't have to go with a new pitcher, and the rain delay wasn't too long, but right after I say that, Neil Tice is plunked with a 2-2 pitch.
Absolutely. Steve, you've probably been in these situations before, as we talked about being a collegiate pitcher. Talk about your mindset as coming back on the mound.
Actually, I was just thinking that. I said, that toughest pitch is that first pitch you have when you come back off a break, and he's sitting in there for a strike. I said, okay, well, it's just not going to affect him that much, and then he doinks number 12, and runners on first.
Drew Christo, the batter, number 9 batter for the Booneville Braves. Shows bunt, lays it down. That's a nice one. You're going to have to hustle to get there.
He's got it.
In there safely is Drew Christo. Great job right there as the catcher, Garrett Braley, had to make a nice play of it. Kind of caught the lip of the grass as this grass is cut a little bit differently than most fields. You usually have the dirt paths running from home plate to first, home plate to third base. You don't have that here at the Hollow, so it took a kind of funny hop. It would have gotten down the line a little bit quicker. Might have had a play on it, but unfortunately for the Hub City Bombers, now you've got runners at first and second base for the Booneville Braves, and back to leadoff, part of the order, Ben Wallace.
And he's due for something big.
Step off and look back to second base. Nobody covering, so.
There's some pretty good arm strength by 44, the catcher, though. I mean, there was no way he was going to get him, but he gunned it down there. Made it close.
Wallace on the afternoon, 1 for 1.
Ooh, that's 2.
Oh, that was right on the shoulder blade, too. That's smart.
Plunked by that pitch, and that's actually the 4th batter we've had hit in this ball game, 2 so far since coming back from the rain delay.
Well, Steve, we talked about your Steve Witten 5th here. You've got bases juiced and no outs now with Dodds coming to the plate, and you got trouble waiting behind him with Hawkins and Wheatley waiting in the wings.
Weather delayed 5th, but I mean, yeah, we kind of got cut off. Oh, the Bombers had their chance to have with the tying run on second base, and they didn't follow through. And this is where Booneville can almost, I want to say, put it out after those early home runs. I'm not going to say anything about putting it away, but certainly you got bases loaded, bottom of the 5th. Once again, I just think it's not always the deciding factor, but it's a turning point in the game.
First pitch to Drew Dodds, the number 2 batter for the Booneville Braves, stays low in the dirt. Curveball as Brumley comes back with a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Misses there, 2-0 the count. And Drew Dodds has been in this situation before. He had a line drive right back up the middle in the first inning. Was doubled off by the second baseman on a good play. 2-0 catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1, 2-1 the count from Destin Brumley, excuse me.
Well, he's consistently trying to catch the outside corner of that plate. He's not giving him anything on the inside. The team's already turned 2 double plays. I don't know if you just give him something to hit here, see if he can't get another one, as that one's going to hit his foot.
He called it foul.
Yeah, he called it a foul ball. As he come up limping in a heartbeat there, that one just sort of jumped straight down. You see he's got that heavy protector on that front foot. So still smarts just a little there, Ryan.
Dodds now with a 2-2 count. He would be followed by Will Hawkins. Nobody out in the inning. Ducks on the pond for the Booneville Braves, looking to lengthen this 2-run lead. That one stays high for ball 3. Full count now and nobody out.
Steve Witten serenading us with a cell phone across the way. So call that he has to take here.
Steve Witten no longer serenading us as Drew Dodds looks at a fastball on the outside part of the plate. 1 down now. here in the bottom of the 5th inning as Drew Dodds strikes out looking for the first out. Will Hawkins steps to the plate, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Had a single, scored a run back in the first, also struck out on 5 pitches back in the third. Hawkins would be followed by Sawyer Wheatley, cleanup batter, barring a double play. First pitch swung on and belted. Left center field, looking up, and that one's gone. Grand slam home run for Will Hawkins. And Adam, he knew it when he hit it. That was an absolute bomb.
I think the only person that didn't know it when he hit it was the people sitting out in the outfield that weren't paying attention that time, as they just served that one over the middle of the plate. And the rest, my friend, is history.
And Will Hawkins actually called his shot earlier today. Was walking past us earlier and said he'd only hit 1 home run in the afternoon, but that one was certainly gone and not where he said it would be. He actually told us that it would hit off the top of the wall. I think that one went a little bit further than that.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of staying power to drive a little bit deeper that time, and he was able to get out and put a bat on it and make it do what it do.
Sorry for the interruption. That was our weather report update.
Gotcha. And I do believe we're going to have a new pitcher coming into the contest here, so that is going to do it. As that pretty much, well, Ryan, that does close the book on the original pitcher on the day, because, well, there's no one left on the base after that base clearing grand slam.
Yeah, Will Hawkins took the first pitch he saw and deposited it into left center field. Now the pitcher will be number 3 from the Hub City Bombers, as that closes the book on Destin Brumley. He goes 4 1/3. Also, you have to remember he did weather the rain delay, came on to pitch after about a 45-minute delay. That certainly probably did not help out his chances any, as kind of struggled here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Neil Tice.
Well, he didn't struggle. He just didn't.
He
didn't regroup.
Yeah.
We were talking about. There's no offense to him. Ray DeLay could do that. That first pitch was a strike, and then he started hitting a couple of folks, and then the home run. I mean, that's just what happened.
Well, Lee McDaniel will take over on the mound now for the Bombers, and he's got a guy he's got to be careful with the plate here, and Wheatley coming to the mound. But Ryan, you were totaling up your stats there. You might like the way this kid's throw. He had a little Quisenberry action there, right? Like scraping the knuckles on the ground type side action. So,
but I think the important thing for the Bombers is if they can get out of this, they did get almost 5 innings out of that pitcher.
So that is the key there. So see what they can do here. I don't know what the rule is if it's 10-7 in this situation. There's a little sidearm throw there.
McDaniel will face Sawyer Wheatley, cleanup batter. He'll be followed by Will Wallace and then Chris Gullick. If they were to reach 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th, your score 8-2 after a Will Hawkins grand slam. You're right, Adam. I certainly do like his delivery. As Mr. Brandon Speck having a little flashback right there, a little recoil.
But yet again, as we talked about during softball and baseball season, Stephen Chris does not flinch.
No, he's the man of steel.
He's either the man of steel or has the world's worst reactions.
I think he's the man of steel. I feel safe when he's out there. In fact, I let him take a foul ball for me.
That last pitch breaks way outside, so he's just all over the place right now, struggling to find the strike zone early. That time he come sort of over the top of the pitch. So count now goes 2-2.
Actually, just as a side note, our interruption, that was our weather phone call.
Is it Dick Rice?
Yeah, Dick. Not quite.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but it'd be fine if Dick wants to call, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, says we got about an hour. So,
An hour before we get a relapse.
Yeah, before the next little relapse. So as far as Booneville goes, with this lead, they might want it to speed up a little bit.
Absolutely. You'd like to come out the next inning, throw a few pitches, say, all right, let's throw it down and get the guys back at the plate here.
McDaniel's 1-0 pitch stays low in the dirt for ball 2. 2 of the count to Will Wallace. Wallace 2 for 2 in this ballgame. Scored a run back in the first inning as he scored on a Chris Gullick home run. Also singled to lead off the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th. Fastball stays low and away for ball 3-3 of the count to Will Wallace.
Would like to remind everybody, if you're watching this at home and want to order a copy of this or any of our other games, you can visit our website, w07bn.com. Visit our sports archives dating all the way back to 1982. Stephen, Chris, or anyone at the office be glad to take your orders there on DVD or VHS. And be sure to ask about special bulk order discounts. Steve and Chris be glad to tell you all about it. And we actually have our complete TV7 history on the website, so you can go through there and look at what games. We actually, guess you can say, kind of ran across a treasure chest, if you will, at the old station. Found about 15 more games from the 89 season. So we'll be updating those shortly. Got to get that bat out of the way. Did that hit the bat?
No. He got out of the way, though.
Believe it did, actually. I think that was a full count delivery, and Wallace couldn't get the bat down in time. We'll go back again to another full count with Lee McDaniel. Give you the final line on Destin Brumley. When we come back after break, that one fouled down the line. Go ahead and give it to you now. 77 pitches. Went 4 1/3. Faced 22 batters, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. Scoreboard reads 6 hits. However, he gave up 7 hits, 8 runs. All 8 were earned. Also hit a couple batters. Score 8-2. Booneville leading Hub City here in the bottom of the 5th, and swung on and missed as Lee McDaniel strikes out the final 2 batters of the inning, and he comes on in relief. Wait at the top of the 6th inning, your score, Booneville 8, Hub City 2. Welcome back. Top of the 6th inning as Chris Gullett comes back on the mound. He will face Jim Roseberry, Tucker Morgan, and Ben Loesch. 7, 8, 9 batters for the Hub City Bombers as Roseberry fouls off the first pitch he sees from Chris Gullett. Once again, I want to remind you, we had a short rain delay, probably about 30 to 45 minutes long. Chris Gullett comes back on the mound, as did his counterpart. And not too great of success for Destin Brumley. Only lasted about another 5 batters after that rain delay. However, Chris Gullett coming on, see how he does, and it's an excuse me swing right there out of Roseberry.
Absolutely. And one good thing is he's able to carry over into the 6th, Ronnie. You were talking about that earlier. You want to see at least 6 innings out of your starting pitcher, but love to see 7 in that situation. So this is a bonus already for Booneville, as they've been able to slip into the 6th inning here and save some pitches on some of the other arms.
Gullick's 1-2. Little ground ball back up the middle. Gullick unable to barehand it. Going to take a nice throw, and Tice can't get it over there. Actually airmails it. Would have been better just keep that one in your back pocket. However, the runner does not advance to second base. Good thing for them. So now leadoff runner on first base. That'll bring up the batter, Tucker Morgan. Yeah, I think he was caught in no man's land. He thought at first not to throw it, then at the last second decided to give it a little flip, see what he can make happen. And it would have been one heck of a play to even just get it there to start with. So he gave it a shot, but didn't advance past first. I think they learned their lesson earlier in the contest after they saw Wallace go down and almost gun down their guy trying to advance to second, so the runner does go down to first. Yeah, I have to score that one really a base hit by Roseberry. If Gullick is unable to get to that, there's nobody else that's going to have any time whatsoever to get that to first base.
He tried to barehand it off the mound, which, I mean, he had plenty of time to react to the ball. I think he just wasn't expecting, it to come back towards him.
Yeah, and that's something you don't really see a lot of now, especially in today's game. Pitchers, when they release the ball, they usually fall off to one side of the mound or the other, depending on right-handed or left-handed pitchers, and usually they don't come into a set position. When you're a pitcher, you need to become the 9th fielder. A lot of pitchers don't do that today. That's why you don't really see any more Greg Maddoxes, who only won 9 Gold Gloves in the National League, because he would become a 9th fielder. So a lot of guys today have that same problem. I think that's a little bit what you're seeing right there.
For all you future baseball players at home, take note via Ride Winnigood.
Gullick now goes to work on Tucker Morgan, number 8 batter for the Hub City Bombers. He's got a 2-1 count on him. He'll be followed by Ben Loesch, the number 9 batter. Morgan officially 0 for 1, struck out on a fastball on the outside part of the plate back in the 2nd inning. Finds himself in a 2-2 count now against Chris Gullick. Beautiful pitch right there, and Morgan does a great job of staying alive and making waste of a good pitcher's pitch.
things sort of has taken a calm mood here at the ball field.
Really did, didn't it?
Say after the rain came through, everybody sort of settled back in, almost like they've settled in for the night and got comfortable here. As we talked about, it's still a lot of baseball to play. It's 8-2 score here from the top of the 6th. We played 9 in the tournament form, so this one not over with yet.
That one stays high, and Gullick really wanted that one, as you can see from his body language out on the mound. So now runners at first and second base, nobody out, and this could be another repeat of what we saw earlier in the bottom half of the 5th inning, as Chris Gullick kind of falling behind some guys now.
Absolutely. So you got to think
And
they're going to probably get up somebody throwing here.
That's what I was looking
Coach
for.
Sanderson did go to the dugout, sort of talk to someone real quick, so they might send someone down to sign to start getting loose. But he's been in this situation before, though, Ryan. He's been able to come out and get out of jams throughout the contest to hold it to an 8-2 score. So, you can't count him out just yet.
He's been working well with his defense, inducing some ground balls, especially back in the 4th inning, and got a ground ball to Will Hawkins to get himself out of a bases-loaded jam. 1-1 pitch now to Ben Loesch. Loesch on the afternoon walked in the second, also grounded out to the second baseman back in the 4th. Big curveball right there. He could get one. Neil Tice kind of bobbles it, though, and does a good job of just keeping it in his back pocket. Does throw third base, runner standing there. So now bases are loaded, and guys, that was a tough play to make. You had to backhand the ball. You would have had to throw across your body, and it seems like that's one of those tough plays that Chris Gullick really hadn't gotten the brakes on this afternoon.
Yeah, I would say his brakes are starting to beat him in the second half after the rain delay. I guess we should say second half here. When some of the plays earlier, you saw a beautiful play by Tice from shortstop, come up, get one on the run, and throw him out at first. Now you're looking at bases loaded here. You got to force it home. So anything on the infield, you got to figure they're going to try to gun him out at home here. He almost got a gift on that last one after the third baseman got a little greedy and tried to there's another one where he just knocks it down. So Tice is not having the inning he's looking for here.
Yeah, tries to backhand this one. Really should have just gone up to it, gobbled a little bit, got the runner at second base. Might have had a chance for 2, but it's important in that situation to just get 1. Unable to do that, so now the bases are loaded again. We're going to have a meeting on the mound.
Absolutely, the meeting on the mound here. They're going to have a pitching change, so we're going to take the break with them. Your score here, so we're in the top of the 6th. 8-2, 8-3 is your score now. We'll take it to a break and be back with more here from Pontotoc right after this.
Your score 8-3 here in the top of the 6th inning. 1 run is in for the Hub City Bombers, as now that'll bring up the number 2 batter, Ashley Grader. Still on the mound, Chris Gullick, as he has actually got himself out of the jam when you think about it. He's induced 2 ground balls. However, one of those was to a tough spot on the infield as shortstop Neil Tice unable to get to it in time. The other one bobbled a little bit by Neil Tice. Probably should have gotten at least 1 out. Unable to do so, though, so now he's got to work himself out of an even bigger jam. Bases loaded. Your score 8-3. Grader on the afternoon, officially 0 for 3, so he's got an opportunity to get out of it. However, looking behind him, you've got the heart of this order, Zach Robertson and Garrett Braley, due up after Grader.
Yeah, this is a trouble situation here for Booneville. There's a nice job coming back, and even if the count at 1-1. But right now, we saw that big grand slam by Hawkins. You don't have to do it by the long ball. You can piece together a long inning here and really do some damage.
Strike 2 over to Ashley Grader, and this is one of those situations you don't really need to be looking. I mean, he's been serving it up. You need to put the bat on the ball. Infield been faltering behind him. That one stays high. Good eye by Grader. 2-2 the count.
I was just seeing how they were playing him down the third base line. He's off that third base line a little bit, but if you were wondering what I was looking at there.
There's a fly ball, shallow outfield, shallow right field. Right fielder makes a play, not going to come home with it.
Throw is up the line. Oh, he should have. Well, if they played the odds, played it right. You played it, make the run, see what you got it. But it was way up the line. I don't know if you don't chance it there.
Yeah.
I think the third base coach or the head coach down the side for the Hub City Bombers kind of kicking himself after that when he knew he had a run right there, and he hates to leave it on the bag.
Well, you're looking at the placement of the ball in the outfield. Sawyer Wheatley really probably came in about 10 to 15 steps, made the catch, caught it on the run, had a nice play on the ball, would have been a nice throw, but couldn't make the best of throws. Looking back, you always say, well, probably should have run, but in that situation, I actually got to agree with the third base coach right there. He's a little bit too shallow. You still have another opportunity, too. Yeah. There's only one out.
And now he's starting to find that corner of the plate pretty consistent here. Back-to-back strikes. Booneville's got a couple of guys warming up there, but I believe they're going to go with Adam Kay in this situation if they need to call on him.
That one stays outside. 1-2 the count to Zach Robertson. Reached on error in the first. Flew out to the center fielder both in the third and the fifth. Swung on, lifted foul here at the Hollow.
Off the netting, back into play. Remind everybody, coming up next will be the Tupelo 49ers and Amory Cardinals. Amory slipped in and knocked off Tupelo. We talked about Amory being one of the hotter teams coming into the tournament. They've got wins over Booneville, Pontotoc, and Tupelo.
Swinging bunt, play at the plate. Got the lead runner for the force out. Nice play right there by Chris Gullick.
Hey, you got to look at it. That was really the only play he had that time, Steve. Is really he sort of had a bad jump with the ball. He would have had to turn around quickly to throw down to first, so he just did what he had and flipped it forward to home and cut down the run.
Do that little shuttle pass, little thing to the catcher and got him at home. You know, like you said, it was the only play he had, but he grabbed it up just right and got him at home plate.
Well, now Chris Gullick, 1 out away from getting out of a huge jam.
But to go back to what we were saying earlier, excuse me, Ryan, was that now you wish you had sent that runner.
It's one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't situations where you go back and, you know, you can look over any game and say, well, if I would have done this or if I would have done that. So, you know.
Yeah.
He played the odds. He probably played it right.
1-0 coming. Nice pitch right down the heart of the plate.
Well, you know, we did this when we covered baseball before. Ryan likes certain small ball too, and I believe in aggressive base running, make them make the play. So
almost plunked him that time as the breaking ball didn't quite turn as much as he was wanting it to.
Yeah, it looked more like a knuckle curve right there. It didn't really have too much of a curve on it. Just kind of hung in the air. Fastball stays low, 3-1 the count.
He's starting to see him force the pitches here. His motion has gotten a lot more violent than it was earlier on the day.
Seems like he's really just wishing for these batters to swing at one of his pitches. There's a nice pitch, nice hit right there. That one's going to get through. That will score 1. Here comes the second runner. Play at the plate will be cut off. Nice job right there by Hawkins. Actually, I thought he had him at second base, but great base running, great call by the third base coach. We were second-guessing him earlier, but good job right there to send both of them.
He made up for it, and the run eventually did come around, but I do think we're going to see a pitching change here now. That is going to be the case. Is we got a whole new ball game. 2 runs coming to score there. It's an 8-5 game now, so damage has been done in that sense, if you will. So Gullett will check out. He still got a pair of runners on bases to his name on first and second. I believe we're going to move the first baseman to the mound now.
Yeah, Drew Dodds will come in relief of Chris Gullick here in the top of the 6th inning.
Might be just coming in to buy some pitches here, try to get this last out, and then make the change over to Kay in the next inning. Let's take and see him warm up here in this situation. I'll tell you what, let's do. We owe you a station break. We'll take it and be back with more right after this.
Welcome back. We had a pitching change. Drew Dodds moves over from first base to the pitching mound. He inherited 2 runners. And there's a little Texas leaguer in the shallow left center field. 1 run will score. Nice piece of hitting right there by the batter, Bobo Morgan, who sees the first pitch from Drew Dodds and deposits it into left center field. Your score now 8-6 as these Bombers have come back in a hurry here in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, it was really nothing fancy that time. He just put the bat on the ball and put it in the hole that time. Was able to score the run.
That will now make 2 of the 6 runs given up by Chris Gullick earned. The other 4 were unearned, due mostly in part to a lot of errors from his defense. That one stays away. 1-0 the count to the batter, Charlie Hillman.
Well, hey, we talked about baseball being a long game. We just saw 4 runs put up in the bottom of the 5th. Hey, Hope City's answered back with 4 of their own, and they still got a little bit more damage to do here with runners on first and second with 2 out. That was a healthy chop that time. He was trying to put 3 more on the board.
Certainly was, and it really seems that these Hub City Bombers, good job of coming back, especially out of a grand slam from Will Hawkins. You would have thought that would have taken a lot of wind out of the sails from the Bombers, but great job of fighting back against Chris Gullick after the rain delay.
Absolutely, and sound weird coming from me, but that's a beautiful thing about baseball. One team puts up 4 runs and turn around the next time. You can do it in a lot longer fashion. You're never really out of a game unless you're just outmanned, I guess you can say. But in a tournament like this, you get the best of the best throughout the state. A lot of kids going to be some of the top seniors next year, top juniors next year. Got him. Oh.
Well, they got him, but
don't know what that was. I don't think the first baseman was actually expecting that.
I don't think he was ready for it.
Looked like the runner actually tried to kick the ball and play a little hacky sack or something over there. But to go finish that thought, that's the reason why you got some of the top juniors and seniors to be next year. Some of the next guys moving on to the JUCO level next year. So, never really have a ball game in these contests.
2-2, curveball stays low in the dirt. Good job of catcher getting in front of that, blocking up. Full count now, 2 outs.
I believe we also have a new catcher in the contest. Can't see his number now, but the full count here. I think it's Nathan Connor, but don't quote me on that.
That one stays high as Drew Dodds loses Charlie Hillman, and now the Bombers have battered around. Roseberry steps back up to the plate. He led off this inning with a single.
You're correct, I believe.
That is Nathan Connor.
So we have the other teams drifting in here at the bottom of the 6th inning.
The Cardinals of Amory and Tupelo making their way into the contest. They're slated for the 8 o'clock game. The opening ceremonies were scheduled for 7. Of course, as Ryan talked about, the 35 to 45-minute rain delay. This has popped up and thought he might have overplayed it there for a second, but he's able to get the out and retire the inning, but the damage has been done.
Sawyer Wheatley records the final out of the inning with Jim Roseberry. Really got it started for the Hub City Bombers. Had a little in-between base hit as pitcher at the time, Chris Gullick, unable to corral that one, and that's when the floodgates opened up on Chris Gullick. Hub City Bombers plate 4 here in the top of the 6th inning. Your score 8-6. Booneville Braves on top of Hub City. And guys, this game has really shifted around. I guess you could probably exchange all 4 of those, actually all 8 of those runs, and we'd still have the same game we had before the rain delay. But
we just lost the scoreboard.
Absolutely. I think they got a bad connection up there in the power as it just flips in and out on us. But, yeah, you're right, Ryan. Basically the same games we left off with before the rain delay. They just put 4th spot on the board. And, hey, interesting to go here. You just saw a whole bunch more runs. We talked about a lot of times in these ball games when you have 9-inning games, you see a high-scoring affair. And right now, an 8-6 score and still, 2.5 innings to play? 3.5 innings to play. We see a lot more runs put on the board.
A situation like that, you really thought that the Booneville Braves would be able to pull it out, score 4 more runs in the next few innings, maybe push this to a 10-run ball game in the 7th. But Hub City Bombers, you got to give them a lot of credit. Really fought back and pushed through some of this adversity. And great job by them. 8-6 your score once again, heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Booneville Braves will send to the plate Chris Gullick, Clint Hodges, and Neil Tice. 6, 7, 8 batters for the Braves combined.
Well, Gullick got this thing going for him with a big swing early in the contest. Did a good job on the mound, just sort of ran out of juice there towards the end. So, he'd really like to get back up here and help his cause and give his team a little more breathing room. He's still on the good side of things here with being the pitcher of record for Booneville in this situation. So, he'd really like to help out here with his bat.
Gullick had a 3-run bomb back in the 1st inning. Then he was helped out by a Will Hawkins grand slam back in the bottom of the 5th. We'll see what he can do here. First pitch from Lee McDaniel stays inside for ball 1.
Yeah, they've been trying to work that inside all day long, and it's been a little high on them. That one's a little inside on him, but sidearm.
As they changed throwing motion that time and froze Gullick at the plate. So he served that one right across the heart of the dish. Steve, your clouds are moving back in right on schedule. We said about an hour from now as the skies have turned gray once again.
Well, it could end up being very similar to that other rain delay where it was not necessarily rain, it was the lightning.
Yeah.
So,
We
I
did
mean, we
get a-
kind of dodged the bullet on a wet, nasty field.
Yeah, we got enough rain to sort of calm down the
Yeah.
dust and everything on the field. But yeah, the lightning is what prompted the delay.
But from the weather report that we got, that individual is usually always right.
Never doubt Sam got him.
That go, come on, ooh, baby. I'm not rooting. That was,
So we don't want to pull either way
Yeah.
here, but eesh. Guys, while we got a break real quick, I got to give a shout out to someone up in Booneville, Haley Edwards. Watches Channel 98 a good bit and sent me an email threatening my life if I didn't give her a shout out. So big up to Haley out in Booneville. Now I can live to see another day.
yes.
Lee McDaniel working on Clint Hodges after a nice base hit by Chris Gullick right up the box. Kind of took the pitch right where it was, took it up the box. Chris Gullick now 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Had a home run in the first, also with a single now here in the bottom of the sticks, getting it going, setting the table for 7 and 8 hitters behind him. That was actually going to be a nice hit if
So
Clint
that was-
Hodges able to work that one a little bit more fair.
Yeah, that would have been the ideal bunt that time because it would have pulled the first baseman off the line. Wouldn't have had anywhere to go with the ball because the runner on first got a great jump that time. Would have brought a tear to the eye of Ryan Whittington with the beautiful piece of small ball.
Yeah, exactly where you wanted to go with that one. Try to pull the first baseman off the bag. Allow that runner to get in scoring position for your table setters. 1-1, nobody out. Runner at first base, Chris Gullick. Nice pitch to hit right there, and Hodges kind of spoiled it. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, whenever he switches to that sidearm motion, Steve, you sort of tell the Booneville batters, hold back a second on it.
They
They're
sure
not
do.
they're not adjusting to it quick enough, not picking up on the release point.
They sure have. And it's kept it a little bit lower for him, too, which is the intent, sort of coming up from the sidearm, but
Curveball breaks inside, and Hodges knew it exactly when he saw
Yeah,
it.
he agreed with it. He shook his head and he turned around and headed back to the dugout.
That was right at the numbers. Still looked a little bit high for balls and strikes that were being called early in the ball game, but this is after a rain delay. Been out here a little bit longer than need be, so Hodges rung up on a nice breaking ball from Lee McDaniel. 1 down. Neil Tice steps to the plate.
We just have to take our word on what's going on here.
tell you what, look, Ryan, is that second baseman playing awful close to second base? I know they want to turn 2, but that's a huge gap. I mean, on the right side over there, if y'all noticed that on the TV.
Yeah, if he can dribble something through through the 4-hole there, they can possibly just go from one corner to the next.
It wouldn't take
on the
much.
bases.
He just punch it through, but I mean, there's nobody there.
So you just get something to hit and roll away from the outfielder, you got some trouble.
Yeah, it really seems like a little bit more of a shift than playing the hole. That one fouled off the plate by Tice. 0-2 the count.
But they might have a scouting thing on this number 12, so they know he never goes to that side, so it's safe. I just thought it was.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to say scouting report because, you're in Hattiesburg, they're in Booneville, pretty much opposite sides of the stadium. It makes you question, what kind of research have you been able to do? What have they picked up on? Are they just going pretty much in game and playing the odds and etc.?
Catcher setting up outside. Nice breaking ball. Looked a lot like the one that they got Clint Hodges to strike out on. However, that one stayed up just a little bit, broke a little bit too long. Neil Tice now with a 1-2 count.
Well, guys, you sort of tell, we talked about it earlier, the game sort of calming down. There's a nice shot up the middle for a base hit. But you sort of tell these two teams now starting to push has now come to shove, if you will, in this contest, and they're wanting to stay in that winner's side of the bracket here.
Well, they certainly, Bombers have come back and made a 2-run ball game, so they're in the contest. Whereas they're actually, I thought they were kind of out of it there for a little bit. All that run production by the Booneville. But 8-6 is.
This is Nathan Connor coming to the plate. Sorry about interrupting you there, Steve. As he has come in as a new catcher in the contest. But yeah, you say it, 8-6 is a whole new ball game here.
However, they get 2. Well, I was about to say is they have 2 runners on, so they could extend it. back up to that 4 runs or real quick here with one shot, as we saw earlier in the game. Those back-to-back home runs in the first couple innings. That was real quick.
Well, you almost give this game sort of a foot race theme, as Booneville's got out to a couple of quick steps quicker than Hattiesburg, and they've been keeping stride with them the whole way, just hadn't been able to make up any ground on them.
I think the weather individuals got it pretty darn close. I tell you one thing, the Booneville's sitting on the curveballs a lot better here later in the game. And I tell you, as this tournament goes on, if anybody can sit on that curveball and know when it's coming, they're going to jack it.
I've already seen some pretty big shots in this contest, but you're right, They're doing a good job being patient now, looking for the curveball.
Right.
Well, the problem that comes with being a sidearm delivery pitcher with Lee McDaniel is when you come from that sidearm angle, it's either going to break away from you or it's going to be a fastball that's going to tail up to you. Now when he comes over the top, it's going to be a curveball. You can just sit back and wait on it.
Kind of tipping your pitches there.
Yep.
2-2 the count as Nathan Connor asked for time. Runners at first and second base, Chris Gullick and also Neil Tice. One down here in the bottom of the 6th inning as Booneville looking to strike back. That was a nice little slide piece right there as he kind of dropped down to that sidearm delivery.
So when he get one to chase one out of the strike zone that time. Good job of having a good eye and staying patient there at the plate. Forces the count to go full.
Now for our audience, just make sure I'm right. Complete game 7 innings. Is that correct?
9 innings.
There's a comebacker at the mound. The play is over to third. Nice play right there by the third baseman to get it while he was running.
I don't think he really expected the ball to come his way in that situation, but a good play that time to cut down the lead runner.
Yeah, you get the lead runner at third base, which I'm with you, Adam. I'm not really sure that third baseman was really looking for that throw, but Lee McDaniel had a good idea. Let's go ahead and look at third, see if we got a play there. Now you got runners at first and second base, but 2 down. Back to the leadoff batter in Ben Wallace, who is now 1 for 2 on the afternoon, scored a run, also hit by a pitch back in the 5th.
I think we're going to have a courtesy runner possibly coming in here. That is going to be the case. So this is going to be number 18 coming in here for Booneville. And once again, we don't have.
I believe it's going to be Grantham.
So Corey Grantham. That would be why we don't have an 18, because they have 2 number 7s on their roster. So I'll make that correction here for future references.
First pitch to Ben Wallace, slider on the outside part of the plate. In there for strike 1. That's really one of the first sliders he's been able to locate all afternoon. Came in relief in the last inning of Destin Brumley, who went 4 1/3. Oh! Fastball stays high and tight. I don't think Wallace was really unhappy at him. I think it hurt a little bit more than he intended that one to.
I was going to say, if he didn't get that shoulder up, he was taking that one in the ear, guys. So he sort of gave a quick glare over to the mound. That'll bring up Dodds in the situation. Bases loaded again with 2 outs.
Dodds has had a tough day at the plate. Lined into a double play in the first. Also lined out to the shortstop. And then struck out looking back in the 5th. Looking to atone for that with the bases loaded.
Nice breaking ball.
Dodds is your new pitcher, so looking to help himself out. Swung on and belted. That's certainly going to do it. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Nice play right there to actually really should have hit the cut right there, but Wallace was not going anywhere. 2 runs score as Booneville tacks on their lead by 2 more runs. Great job of hitting right there by Drew Dodds.
So we talked about Ronnie wanted to atone for himself for a couple of those mistakes earlier in the day. Coming up empty at the plate, and he did it in a big way there. Gave him a little bit more breathing room. Now the lead goes back to 4. But now you got to be careful here. So we already have Mr. Hawkins at the plate. He's went yard one time today. Then you got Wheatley right behind him. So we can see some back-to-back big innings
Yeah, I was
here.
going to be sitting here, seeing if he's going to drop that sidearm again on Hawkins here.
Well, you figure with Hawkins going to Millsouth, he knows when he sees anything come over the top, it's going to be a breaking ball. And, that's what he's wanting.
And, when we cover the Millsouth games, actually a couple of their guys do sidearms down there the game we cover.
Steve
He might be used to seeing it.
A Millsouth alum, Steve Whitten is. Ooh, couldn't quite.
Got his pitch to hit. Seemed like it had a little bit of a slider action on it, though. Will Hawkins a little bit out in front of that one. 1-1 the count.
One of those he might like to have back tomorrow.
He was looking for it.
10-6 is your score. You got 2 outs in this situation. That's the key stat here, guys. Get a quick out and get out of this inning with minimum damage done. Ooh. That one right there. Good breaking pitch into the strike zone. Will kind of looked back to the dugout and shook his head.
Yeah, that was a good piece of hitting right there. Will Hawkins, there was nothing you could do with that unless you're going to take that the opposite way, try to drive it down the line. There's nothing Will Hawkins wanted to do with it. Good piece of hitting. That one stays low in the dirt, 2-2 the count.
You got a good battle here with the pitcher and Hawkins at the plate right now with 2 outs. Really love to get this out here if you're Hattiesburg, but if you're Booneville right now, you want to stretch this lead as much as possible.
Runners at first and second, 2-2 the count, 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Swung on, lifted to center field. This is going to be playable, though, as center fielder corrals that one for the final out of the inning. However, Booneville does play 2 more to take this lead 10-6. Booneville on top of Hub City. We will head to the top of the 7th inning after these messages from our sponsors. To the top of the 7th inning we go, as the Hub City Bombers will send to the plate 8-9-1 batters Tucker Morgan, Ben Loshi, Bryn Whitehead, against Drew Dodds, a new pitcher of record who came in the last inning, in relief of Chris Gullick. First pitch swinging. Nice pitch right there. Certainly not one of those you can really do anything with. Tucker Morgan comes up empty.
Yeah, it was just a time with the pitch. As you mentioned, there's nothing anybody can to do with that one.
Out on the outside part of the plate. Nice pitch. 0-2 the count.
Number 10's coming in and taking care of it. They're going to, as far as what the reliever needs to do.
Connor sets up way outside. Nice pitch. Beautiful pitch. Actually, it came back a little bit further inside than Connor really wanted it, but Dodds, 3 pitches, 1 out. Now he will get set to face number 9 batter, Ben Loshi, who is a combined 0 for 2 in the afternoon. Walked in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, also reached on an error back in the 6th.
Yeah, that's what you like to see right there for Dodds. 3 pitches, 1 out.
Number 9 batter for the Bombers. Head back to the top of the order. This one, little fly ball in the infield, will be corralled easily by the second baseman. So 2 up, 2 down, only needed 4 pitches. Drew Dodds is certainly on his way to a great inning of relief.
Absolutely. I was going to say, you want 3 pitches, 1 out. How about 1 pitch, 1 out? That's even better.
Yeah. He's doing it right now.
So Drew Dodds has come on. He came on back in the top of the 6th inning to relieve Chris Gullick to stop the bleeding. He certainly did that. Faced 3 batters, got an out, swung on and missed as Whitehead comes up empty on the first pitch from Dodds. Only needed 8 pitches to retire 3 guys. Now he only needs 4 pitches to retire 2 guys here in the top of the 7th. 0-1 count to Whitehead. Curveball stays just inside for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Whitehead combined 0 for 4 in the afternoon. Did reach on an error back in the 6th and then later scored. Drew Dodds, I'll tell you what, guys, he's ready to go to work. He's getting that ball and he's throwing it very quickly.
Yeah, I say he's got his mojo going here, and he's wanting just to get out there and get on and get off the mound as quickly as possible here.
Good job by Whitehead at the plate. Needs to be a good leadoff batter right here and take a few pitches. Do not need to be this. They don't need this to be a quick inning, especially after Booneville comes back and scores 2 runs to add to their 8-6 lead. Now 10-6 your score, especially after putting a 4 spot on the board back in the bottom of the 5th.
That was pretty big by Booneville to come in there and do that, tack on those extra couple runs, give them that extra cushion.
Chase went out of the strike zone that time. Popped it fouling over towards the vehicles.
Yes.
As long as it's not yellow, I don't mind what it hits. Chad Cracker not playing, so.
Thank goodness Chad isn't playing for the Pontotoc Red Sox anymore.
He'd probably already hit my car 4 times. That one fouled off the umpire that time.
Well, I said playing for the Pontotoc Red Sox. Did he play for the Pontotoc Red Sox?
I don't think so. He did, he did it while he was playing at Oxford.
He broke more than a few car windows while he was playing for the Oxford Chargers. He's now doing that in Western Kentucky.
And in a big way.
2-2 pitch coming from Dodds. That one low in the dirt. Skipped it up there. 3-2 the count.
Starting to see a lot more people coming to the ballpark. Of course, got the opening ceremonies that will be in between games, so you'll want to be sure and stay tuned and watch that here on W07BN.
I am so glad you said that. I was confused. I saw these people assemble.
There's a ground ball to Will Hawkins at third base. Has a little problem with it, bobbles it a little bit, and that allows Whitehead to beat it out. Will Hawkins had a tough day over at third base, but luckily for him, there's already 2 down in the inning, and now you'll see Ashley Grader come up and try to get something going for the Bombers.
Yeah, he's not too happy with himself over there at third.
No.
He's probably got a few choice words for himself as he's kicking the dirt around. Second time today he's had that situation come up.
Let me finish what I was saying. I went ahead and let the hit. Oh, these individuals are assembling over here. We got a pageant thing going, and these folks. I was going, what's going on?
Miss Lauren Rosado, former Pontotoc Lady Warrior basketball player. Had a few chances to talk to her throughout the basketball season. Then you have also the Boy Scouts and American Legion people here, part of the Auxiliary Post 16 that will, the American Legion and the Auxiliary Post 16 hosting this tournament. Doing a great job with it so far, and it's looking forward to be a big tournament. Always is a big tournament up here. So you want to be sure and stay tuned to see those opening ceremonies next. Had a chance to speak with Mr. Bill Wardlaw, who has pretty much run himself in the ground already. So we talked about it. We had 2 teams drop out earlier in the day in this state tournament. Both the Mississippi Prospect teams. Few lingering questions on why they did so. Few hearsay and rumor reasons that we'll keep off the air just for nostalgic reasons. Might have.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
2-2 pitch. That one
Nice.
lined right back up the box, and Grader got all of that one from Drew Dodds. So looking a little bit like the first 3 innings from the pitchers we saw. Drew Dodds quickly takes care of the first 2 batters on only 4 pitches and got into a little bit of a pitcher's duel with some of the batters in this inning. Now that'll bring up the number 3 batter, Zach Robertson. Now you're getting to the meat of this lineup. You figure if you can retire Zach Robertson here, you can face the 4, 5, 6 guys for the Bombers the last time during this game, and that's exactly what you want.
Tell you, Hasburg is just not going to go away.
There it is.
That one ripped into left field as they will hold the runner at third base, and rightfully so.
Might be one of those you was like, man, if he wouldn't have hit it as hard, they might have chanced it that time. But it took a hard bounce straight up to the left fielder who came up gunning that time to cut down the run.
So once again, Hub City's got the bases loaded. This is like 3rd time today, isn't it?
Yep, and we've seen this. We saw it in the last inning. They were able to put together a little 2-out rally here. They got big number 44 coming to the plate. It looks like he can do some damage here.
Yeah, Garrett Braley has seen more pitches than any other batter in this Bomber lineup. He's seen 23 pitches. He's drawn 2 walks, struck out once in the 3rd by Chris Gullick, also singled back in the 6th that really chased Gullick from the ballgame. He's got the bases loaded now. First pitch stays away for ball 1.
And it might be time that he's happy not to see a right-handed breaking ball pitcher because he has struggled with the curveball today.
Certainly has. Breaking ball right there. Thought it actually caught the outside part of the plate, but 2-0 the count, and Garrett Braley has a nice hitter's count right now to work with.
Well, he's getting jazzed up at the plate, so he's looking for something big here.
He was looking for it right there. Nice pitch by Drew Dodds. Knew he'd probably be looking middle in, so he kind of raised his fastball a little bit up and out over the plate. 2-1 the pitch. Excuse me, 2-1 the count. Curveball stays outside.
Just can't find that location with it. He's
actually called a strike on that one.
Ooh. A little delay call there.
2-2 the count. I wouldn't be too happy about that if I were Braley. Saw the exact same pitch that was called a ball. That one stays away though now. Bases are loaded, full count. In a 10-6 ball game, you've got the tying run at the plate. And Braley, certainly one of those guys who can deposit one over the fences. We've already seen one grand slam during this ball game. Will Hawkins at third base for the Booneville Braves deposited it over the center field wall.
Out near the bleachers section in the football field.
Runners are going. This one stays low in the dirt, so Drew Dodds, after getting quick 2 outs, walks in a run. Now your score 10-7 as that will bring up Bobo Morgan.
Well, what that does now is puts the lead run at the plate.
So we talked about,
Yep.
These things are never over with.
So you went from the tying run at the plate to the go-ahead runs at the plate. And as we saw earlier, 335 is not that far.
Yeah, Booneville's done it with big swings of the bat.
This one popped up on the infield, drifting in a shallow right. Second baseman camps under it for the out. Final out of the inning, however, the Bombers do get one of the 2 back. Your score 10-7. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning right after these messages. Back as bottom of the 7th inning. 10-7 your score. Steve and Chris on camera not doing a great job tonight as we have Sawyer Wheatley.
You just missed your cue. That's all that was.
I'm completely kidding right there. Steve and Chris makes everything run back at the station. Now I have to suck up for the rest of my career.
Adult life.
Bottom of the 7th, Sawyer Wheatley swings and misses the first one, gets all this one and pops it straight up.
That's going to get out of play.
Yeah.
Drifting into foul territory, third
it.
baseman got it. Nice play right there.
Good play.
Sure did.
Reached over the fence.
Reached over and grabbed it.
He stole one there.
Those are plays that your pitcher looks at and he says, thank you for not allowing me to throw any more pitches.
Tips his hat. Well, Steve and I, of course, we're blocked by the banner here, but the way it was drifting, look, it got out of play.
I thought it was out. Yeah.
A good job there. What if he opens the fence and goes catch it? Is that still an out?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I was gonna say I'd give him 2 outs if he opens the fence.
If you have enough time to do that, you
have enough
deserve
time to open the fence
out.
and find the ball and get out there and catch it. But you know what? Inning's over.
Batter now, Will Wallace, 2 for 3 in the afternoon. Ooh. Takes a first pitch strike and takes that one high and in for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Wallace had a single back in the first, single in the fourth, also struck out in the fifth.
Taking some time to get adjusted to this. Wow, that's a hard hit.
Yeah, shortstop really didn't have much time to.
All he could really try and do was dive and knock it down versus make a play on it. But just to finish my thought there, it's like getting adjusted to this 9 innings. I looked up, I was like, man, why are we even batting? So I forgot we played 9 in tournament play.
You're okay. It'll be all right.
Long tournament, folks.
That's why Steve and Chris are here. Keep you in line.
That's right.
Good luck.
Tell me when to miss my cues. Chris Gullick, the batter, 1 down in the inning. Runner at first base is Will Wallace. Gullick on the afternoon, 2 for 3, had a home run. Bounced into a double play in the fourth, and also singled in the sixth. Got a runner on first base right now.
I hear the rumble.
Yeah, I say here it's starting to churn up again. So your weather person is spot on.
Stays high and away. 1-1 the count. Yeah, I'm sure in this portion of the ball game they would have to call it if the torrential rains came down.
I think one more rain would pretty much fold the deck here.
Snap throw back over to first base and Wallace in there safely.
I don't know if I'm not Hub City. I try to throw at the plate, get some outs, get right back at the bat here.
That's what I was discussing earlier. Was they kind of want to get going here.
Swung on and missed. Gullick came up empty on that one. Nice breaking ball out of Lee McDaniel.
I think he was sitting on fastball, looking for something, a little bit of heat there that time, way ahead of that one.
If you look at the scoreboard later on, 10 runs on 10 hits, 6 errors. As this one lifted and right center field. Center fielder drifts over it for the out. I actually thought he got a little bit more than that one.
The guys in the cheap seats out there were scattering as they thought that one was going to be parked in their lap that time.
And certainly seen their fair share of home run balls this afternoon. They've seen 3 of them out there.
They kind of scattered out a little bit, though. They were all muddled over there to the right earlier. Now they spread out.
Still probably one of the best baseball atmospheres that I've been in outside of state championship atmosphere was Itawamba HS and Pontotoc playing for the right to play for the North Half Championship the year that Pontotoc went down to play for the state championship. You had the entire hill back there covered with people bringing out the bullseyes, putting them on the hill.
2004.
Yes, so it was a fun atmosphere for baseball. Of course, Pontotoc went down and Smith Wills lost game 3 to Brookhaven or Old Brook or whatever you want to call them. They had Brookhaven jerseys, Old Brook jerseys. That really started our long run in baseball. This year sort of snapped that run. After Pontotoc, we had Oxford go down and win the state championship, and then we had Lafayette, Water Valley go down there. Nettleton go down and win it. So we've had a fun run in baseball. That one looked like it was going to get over his head, but nice job by the second baseman to track back and get the out.
Yeah, great job right there as the Booneville Braves go down pretty quietly here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. We head to the top of the 8th. Your score 10-7. Booneville Braves on top of Hub City in Game 1, Senior American Legion Baseball Tournament. Top of the 8th inning as John Barber, the new pitcher of record for the Booneville Braves, steps in to face Charlie Hillman, Jim Roseberry, and Tucker Morgan. Hillman takes a first pitch strike. Hillman on the afternoon. I should say on the evening now, as this game, we've had a rain delay, so we've been trickling on in the evening, and it's probably going to get a lot later if the rains move in, but he is a combined 1 for 3. Down on the count, 0-2 to John Barber. That one stays high for 1-2.
Well, Ryan, we talked about all the state championships just before this inning, and right on cue in comes John Paul Barber. Had the big strikeout in Game 3 to get the championship, bring home the championship for Nelton. And right there it was again, right on cue as soon as I bring it up.
Yeah, beautiful pitch out of John Paul Barber, and I actually didn't recognize him out there, so I'm glad you notified me as John Paul.
And if anybody wants to relive those moments, you can visit Ryan's website. He's got some great photos of the Nettleton Championship down there. Ryan, you can sling out your website because I don't know it on the top of my head.
It's actually, if I can remember it,
I don't think Ryan knows it off the top of his head.
www.ryanwhittington.smugmug.com, and I've got some from that Nettleton State Championship run. Also got some Pontotoc Red Sox photos as well. I'm certainly going to have some more after this tournament is over, most likely. 1-0.
And just for another cheap plug, anybody that's come up, senior pictures coming up on the way, Ryan did Jody's, my little sister for anybody that doesn't know. And he did a good job with the pictures over there. So if you got any senior portraits you want to take, hey, there's your guy to call. If you need more information, don't remember the website, give us a call at 983-2801, and I'll be glad to put you in touch with Brother Ryan.
Yeah, I've given out my cell phone before, and that was a bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea.
There's a ground ball. The shortstop going to have to make a good play and unable to come up with it. It was actually a really tough short hop right there. If he comes up with that, Grantham is able to probably throw out the runner at first base, but still 1 down in the inning. Runner on base now is Jim Roseberry. Tucker Morgan steps to the dish.
Yeah, he probably needed to be about 0.5 of a second quicker to be able to make a play on that one. As you mentioned, a funny short hop on him that time. And we've seen a lot of balls, Steve, especially on that side, take those funny hops on the shortstop and third baseman all day.
It's given that side of the field is giving the short and third all they can handle.
It's almost like it's hitting and running towards the fielders.
And they were talking about it the other day when we were out here pregame. They were talking about a little bit of gravel out there too. So I don't know. I mean, not like gravel in the field.
Not like my.
It doesn't take much to. Doesn't take much to, especially when rain kind of packs it down a little bit. Have a little bump out there because it's affected both teams.
Yeah. Showed bunt.
Great snap throw over to first base and a nice play by that catcher.
Connor.
Beautiful play by Connor.
Nathan Connor with a quick snap down. We've seen a lot of those today that we thought were outs. And that time finally got one rung up.
Yeah, Roseberry just kind of scampered a little bit too far off home plate. Actually thought it got behind Connor, but Connor with a nice snap throw over to first base. So now 2 down in the inning. And John Paul Barber is facing Tucker Morgan, who's 0 for 2 in the afternoon.
That was 1 pitch, 1 out. Nice job that time by John Paul coming up in cleanup duty here. No damage done as we're starting to hear some more thunderclaps in the background. 10-7 is your score. We'll take you to a break. Is that cool with you guys?
Sounds good to me.
Cool with you, Steve-O? Go to a break.
Go to a break.
And be back with more right after this.
Bottom of the 8th there's a bunt, beautiful bunt right there. Gonna have to make a beautiful play.
Oh, he got him.
That third baseman has made some plays over these past 2 innings that have been remarkable. That was a beautiful bunt by by Grantham.
Yeah.
He's now come in to play shortstop, and unfortunately for him, came in for the wrong day of the week.
Well, Steve, I was like you. I was wondering why the third baseman went down and picked it up because it looked like it was going to roll foul. But, hey, he threw that one basically from his ankle and gunned him down by a half a step that time. Beautiful play.
It was a great play, but, I mean, I don't know. Worked out for him.
Say, it worked. It's one of those. Now they're going to come out and ask if it was still in fair territory. They're actually maybe they're making some adjustments here. What a beautiful play that time.
Yeah, going back to that bunt, that's really, you can probably chalk that up to that one staying in fair territory because of the way the grass is cut here at the hollow. If you'd had that dirt base path, that probably would have rolled foul, especially with all this gravel on this field.
Absolutely. And, you talked about it earlier in the contest when we saw a bunt laid down, caught the lip of the grass, and didn't get any roll on it. Was able to run it out and reach on a infield single. So you see now they are going to have a discussion, the meeting of the minds here between the umpires. Well, if he's questioning if it was foul or fair, or he might be questioning if he came off the bag, but there was no doubt that was a fair ball.
The only thing I can think they're questioning is the foul. Did he pick it up when it was foul?
To me, it looked
which is important for Booneville because they want him back at the plate instead of out. That's the reason why I'm saying he's arguing it was foul because that's who's arguing.
Or they could be delayed and hope the rain comes in and calls ball game.
They could be exchanging recipes.
No telling.
It looked like to me from right here that he fielded the ball in fair territory.
He barehanded in fair territory. So, Coach Sanderson, good friend of mine, he was at Thrasher. Now he's over at New Albany.
But that's up in the air because that like you said, I mean, chicken marsala could be on the menu for later on tonight.
That is true. That is true. So, you see the discussion across the way. So we need like a coach mic'd up so we can hear what they're saying. Maybe not put it over the air sometimes.
And the other coaches coming in and said, listen, we had chicken last night.
So.
Certainly there's some of those coaching mics that go unheard, especially I think we remember one, New Hope in an Oxford basketball game.
Yeah.
Where we really would have liked to mic up a certain coach.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
I've always wanted to mic up Darren Coffey during a ball game. Of course, we could. Any coaches want to do that, give me a call. That'd be fun.
We can always hook that up.
Yeah. Get me off the mic. Everybody in Northeast Mississippi probably be happy. But either way it goes, we're still having the meeting of the minds here. Contemplating the meaning of life, amongst other trivial things.
Well, it's not that big a deal. Come on, make a decision. It's a yay, nay. We only have it on tape, so if you make the wrong decision, we'll replay it for the next 28 years.
The only opinion that matters in this moment is Steve and Chris.
That's right.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, Steve-O?
No pressure.
What are we discussing? It don't matter. Just
I see we're discussing it was
Steve-O
foul.
saying thumbs down. But apparently now
They're going to get the rule book out.
Now we're going to head over to the side. I'll tell you what, let's do, folks. I know we're just bantering here back and forth.
Well, this is better.
Let's take it to a break.
Okay.
And be back with more right after this.
Welcome back to action as the Hub City Bombers are in the field right now. We had a little break in the action.
About as long as a rain delay.
Absolutely, and the batter is supposed to be Nathan Connor. He will finally get a chance to hit after about 15 minutes of...
and now here comes the lightning.
And here comes the rain. Just the same, I think we had a substitution delay is what we're hearing now from some of the fans. We thought it was originally a fair or foul call. You know, after that goes on for about 15 minutes, you kind of had to figure that that wasn't the case. Evidently, they had a substitution for a first baseman for the Hub City Bombers, and then that one goes behind the batter. Came back on to play in the field, which, you know, in high school rules, that's an automatic out. Well, your team is in the field, so situation like that, you can't really do anything about it. That one's ripped right back up the box, and Nathan Connor says, here's what I think about your substitution.
Well, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. I'll go down to first. Well, now we've got all that figured out. We hear the thunder rolling in the background. We got a courtesy runner coming in, and lightning becoming more prevalent in the background as number 21 checks into the contest as the runner.
Samuel Cruz checks in as the courtesy runner for Nathan Connor at first base.
Is he a pitcher?
Believe so, yes. He's listed as a pitcher / outfielder.
That's what I was thinking. I think I met his dad last year while covering some games out at Booneville. So we had a chance to talk to the Christo family, and Coach Browning is coming in and calling time as they're going to probably roll out the mats here. The dog is on the field. All chaos is broke loose. You've got one out. Brandon Speck is leaving.
There's just people everywhere right now. I'm a little concerned, but just the same, we actually had a pinch hitter, Justin Smith, who stepped to the plate. Now we have lightning.
I think we're calling game. They're going to roll out the tarps while they do the opening ceremony in case it rains. And I believe your final score in this contest is going to be 10-7 in favor of the... Or they're not changing the scoreboard. Well, 10-7, I guess, is going to be your final in this case. And if that's the case, then Booneville will advance in the winner's bracket to take on Pontotoc tomorrow. And Steve-O, I don't know if you can get the shot of the background towards the field house over there, but it is looking pretty rough back towards South Pontotoc as lightning flashing pretty heavy out there. As the dog makes his victory lap, we're going to take you to a break and be back more right after this.